93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What to be prepared for. It's mostly cloudy, some sunshine downtown, 26 on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Heavy snow is a possibility with the winter weather system bearing down on Indiana, but the primary concern for the National Weather Service is the extreme cold.
We're still really concerned about the wind chills. When you combine the cold temperatures with the wind, that's probably going to be one of our biggest impacts with the system. Meteorologist Randy Bowers, he says a flash freeze is likely Thursday night. That's when temps fall quickly below freezing. And he says any rain that falls prior to on Thursday will likely freeze, causing slick and dangerous roads. A woman who initially survived a double shooting Monday afternoon has died. IMPD saying this morning that the woman died at the hospital after she and another person were shot near West Washington and 465 on the west side. No suspects yet to speak of. Narcan is what can save someone who is overdosing on drugs. This week, the state's first Narcan vending machine is now open in Kokomo.
I find it very sad that we have that need, that it is a need. That's the world we live in today.
Tammy Stucker, a Kokomo resident on Wish TV, her son was saved by Narcan a few years ago. The free machine is the first of 19 others that'll be popping up around the state in the coming months. Next year's state fair has a theme. Jaden Arnold.
The Indiana State Fair's organizers announced today that basketball will be the theme for 2023. The title partnership of Pacer Sports and Entertainment has the tagline, "The State That Grew the Game." Along with representatives from the Pacers and the Indy State Fair, Governor Eric Holcomb made the announcement on the basketball court at the governor's mansion. The 18-day festival takes place from July 28th through August 20th. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And Purdue's football team has lost a few big pieces over the last couple of weeks. To put them back together, though, they're for the upcoming Citrus Bowl game against LSU. The team has brought in former quarterback Drew Brees.
What a unique opportunity this was in this bowl game, in the Citrus Bowl, to go play LSU and finish the season off the right way. You know, these guys have earned it. And they deserve an incredible experience.
Brees also made it clear that this coaching gig is a one-time thing. Traffic on the fives, Matt Baer.
On the east side, northbound 465 is stopped from Penn Pike up to 75th and then slow past Allisonville Road. Couple of things here. First, we have a crash at East 56th Street. That's blocking 3 right lanes, stopping traffic to Penn Pike. And then we crawl up to Allisonville Road where that other crash has cleared. Inbound 69 stop and go 96th Street down to 465, crash clear at 82nd Street. Traffic sponsored by Comcast Business. Start saving with Comcast Business Mobile. All on the most reliable 5G network. Most reliable based on route metrics. U.S. report results vary, not an endorsement. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the Fives. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Hey, it's Big Joe for Absolute Comfort, your trusted independent American Standard Air dealer. Owner Chris Weddicken sells the ductless Mitsubishi Electric Mini Split, which is a clean and extremely energy efficient way to heat and cool a specific area.
These systems don't run the air through the ductwork, which is where a lot of your dust and allergies and other displeasing smells come from. And maybe best of all, you're not circulating viruses throughout the home.
Find out more at AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted independent American Standard Air Mitsubishi Electric Elite Ductless Pro dealer.
Join Mark Petrick seminars and stop smoking without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Don't just cut down, but stop smoking once and for all. Also, lose all the weight and let Mark Petrick Hypnosis destroy your unwanted cravings. Seminars January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m., stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Cloudy skies, quiet, near normal temperatures this afternoon. Today's high 38. We're mostly cloudy and calm, chilly overnight, a low down to 25. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Partly cloudy, 26 on Monument Circle. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's lab-grown or mined diamond store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 20th. It is 7 minutes after 9. This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. Rob Kendall is back from vacation. So glad you're here. Let's start off the show talking about the Bellwether Research and Consulting poll. They've released this survey, and it's taking a look at the open governor's seat and also the Senate race. And Mitch Fest may be ending at Purdue, but could it be spreading to the rest of Indiana? That's entirely up to Mitch Daniels. But if he were to say yes, things look pretty good for him.
So it's very interesting. So this poll was done by Bellwether Research. Christine Matthews is the person who did the poll. She was a longtime pollster for Daniels. So you got her. There's a reason these things are happening, right? There had been a website or a Twitter account that was a draft Mitch type of thing, and I think a lot of the Daniels people are putting things out or doing things in an attempt to perhaps encourage Mitch Daniels to consider running for public office again, be it governor, U.S. Senate, whatever. But what was interesting in this poll, and I was thinking about this driving into work today, is how what do we say about Trump? Like, how can I miss you if you won't go away? Remember the thing we always say about Trump? How can I miss you if you won't go away? And Trump's refusal to go away has been such a detriment to him. Mitch Daniels is a great example of the how can I miss you if you won't go away, because Mitch Daniels, while he has run Purdue and has been high profile in his running of Purdue University, his success in running Purdue University, coupled with being outside of the political sphere, has clearly made many, at least Republicans, yearn to return. How about that for a little rhyming right in the opening segment, to the days of Mitch Daniels. And what's interesting is the idea, and we're going to talk with Abdul about this a little bit later. I don't think Mitch is going to run, and I don't think Abdul thinks Mitch is going to run, because Mitch Daniels is a really smart dude. And I think Mitch Daniels is smart enough. One, I don't think he wants to deal with it anymore. But when the legacy and idea of you is always greater than you in itself, why would you spoil it by reminding people that, hey, it wasn't actually as great as you remember it being?
Go out on a high note, is what you're saying.
And what I'm talking about is the legacy of Mitch Daniels is he cut every tax, he limited every government, everything was about slashing and giving back to the people, and there was no special interest, and that's not how it was at all. I mean, look no further than right down the street from us at Lucas Oil Stadium. Lucas Oil Stadium was a massive giveaway by Mitch Daniels. It was orchestrated by Mitch Daniels as a massive giveaway to a billionaire, and it was done by a tax increase on poor and middle-class people that is still in existence and will be in existence for years and years and years. That's the reality of Mitch Daniels. That's not limited government. That's not less government. That's not lower-cost government. That's crony capitalism in which a billionaire, Jim Irsay, profits off people like us. But the reality is nobody talks about that because the legacy of Mitch Daniels, the idea of Mitch Daniels, was far greater than Mitch Daniels himself.
Well, his legacy is being a fiscal conservative. And it's interesting that you mentioned, how can I miss you when you won't go away? Because when he was speaking at Memorial Union during a cocktail hour, he did a 16-minute speech, and he started it with, how can I miss you how can you miss me if I don't go away?
And it doesn't mean Mitch Daniels wasn't a decent governor. Indiana was in F position when he left, and they were in a C position, or when he started in a C position when he left. Now, these guys have totally put it back to an F position, because once Dad got out of the room, these little children just undid a whole bunch of things he did. But, like, let's take, for example, taxation. Okay, let's take the stadium out of the equation. The reality is that when property taxes were enacted, Mitch Daniels, the guy who gave the property tax caps to the state of Indiana, yes, but when the property tax caps were enacted, they also raised the sales tax. There was not a tax cut when you got property taxes. They just shifted the tax burden. And now, because of the flawed and highly horrific assessment process that the Republicans here are doing nothing about, people are already paying more on property taxes than they were before the property tax caps.
So they got around that. You have record taxation, and you still have higher sales tax. So Mitch Daniels was, in that sense, not a tax cutter. He was a tax transfer. But the legacy of Mitch Daniels, unless he gets back in the arena, was, well, Mitch Daniels is the guy who gave us property tax caps. Not Mitch Daniels is the guy who raised the sales tax, and because they did nothing about assessments, you're now paying more in property taxes than you were before the cap. Anyway, so that's what I'm saying. It's for a guy like that, it's probably better to be just forever remembered. They'll probably erect a statue to him at some point. Why would you ruin it by getting back in the arena?
Yeah, well, a lot of people are saying that he is intrigued by the position of senator. And let's talk about this poll because there are two takes on it. They did two different selections, right? The first one has Todd Rokita, Jim Banks, Victoria Sparks, and Trey Hollingsworth.
Yes.
And a lot of unsures.
Hey, real quick. So my goal for 2023, Casey, I have set a goal. And that is to have more rich friends because I've been hanging out with you and Kevin, and look at where it's gotten me. I'm hanging out with you and Kevin.
Wait, I got producer money. What are you talking about?
I got Uno Gold money, baby. And so I've been kind of mean to Hollingsworth. He voted for the January 6th committee, which is highly egregious. And, he used some of that family money to, basically buy a U.S. House seat. And I've been critical of that. But, I'm going to turn over a new leaf in 2023. And that new leaf is what's best for me. And so Trey at 11%. I'm with you, baby.
Okay, well, when you add in Mitch Daniels, though, Trey Hollingsworth polling numbers go down to 9%. He was at 11, now he's at 9. But Mitch Daniels running away with it. It looks like, according to this poll, if Mitch Daniels wanted the job, it's his for the taking.
Yeah, absolutely. So Daniels comes in at 32%. The next closest is Banks at 10. Compare and contrast that to Daniels not in the equation. They've got Rokita at 16, Banks at 14, Sparks at 12, Hollingsworth at 11. It's a wide open race. And this comes back to, again, if you're Mitch Daniels and you are okay with the rough and tumble political world we live in, which I don't think he is, and I think that's part of why he didn't run for president in 2012, then clearly you enter as the overwhelming frontrunner. However, you have to realize that whether it's Jim Banks or Hollingsworth or Victoria Sparks or certainly Rokita, those people are sharks and killers, and they're not just going to step back and go, hey, Mitch is back. How might I be subservient to you? No, they all want to be the people that people are subservient to. They're going to do everything in their power to try to disrupt, the perception of this guy. And again, those things are all on the table. The reality is that Mitch Daniels did do some good things as governor. He also did some things that did not work out well for regular people. I mean, Mitch Daniels was a huge proponent of standardized testing. He was a huge proponent of not letting teachers having the ability and freedom to teach. I mean, these are all things that would come out.
Leased out the toll roads.
And so it's fun for us to talk about right now. And the reality is Mitch Daniels does start with an overwhelming advantage if he got in, but
it's a different time.
He would also be 75 years old. Why would you at 75 want to enter the United States Senate? You're not going to accomplish anything. Mitch Daniels did, in many cases, apply government reform and try to cut government here and there, not nearly to the point people believe he did, but you're not going to get that done in Washington. Well, it's why he left Bush's administration to run for governor in the first place. He recognized a single person cannot get anything done in Washington, D.C.
Well, and part of that is branding, though, because you have a whole generation who know him as my man Mitch. And then you take that generation, and if their kids went to Purdue, it's just even more solidified because he never raised tuition. So in their mind, that is like a tax cut.
And here's what would be very interesting, and I know we got to get to a break. Your daughter is someone who is not super political in any shape, form, or fashion. Is that a fair assessment? She is not sitting around thinking about the things we are thinking about on a daily basis.
Spot on.
Okay. Would she vote for Mitch Daniels just based on the job he did at Purdue? I think Mitch Daniels weirdly brings a lot of different people into the equation, certainly in a general election.
I think she would be one of those young people who would go to vote and would go, that's a name that I've heard of, and that's why.
And I do think if Mitch Daniels got in, he would not only win, he would win overwhelmingly, and it might be a thing like that used to happen with Lugar, where the Democrats we're not even running a candidate. I mean, Mitch Daniels is, despite the fact that he did do things as we're laying out here that were not good for regular people, he is a revered institution in this state. He has an incredible legacy, and he would probably win running away if he decided to run.
Mm-hmm. And there's some things that he did at Purdue that I think he could run on.
No, there's no doubt.
You know, he hasn't been in office, an elected office, but he has been a leader of a campus, and a lot of other universities, when the country was reopening back up, looked to him and what he did at Purdue, the steps that he put in place.
Yeah.
To open the university back up. They were one of the first ones in the country to reopen.
There's no doubt Mitch Daniels, and I don't want anybody to misconstrue this segment that we just did. There's no doubt Mitch Daniels has been a positive for the state of Indiana. There's no doubt with his time at Purdue and as governor, Mitch Daniels, there were more yeses than nos, but this is why people love our show. We're not just the people who roll over and go, oh my gosh, Mitch Daniels is back. He was the greatest person in the history of ever. No, we talk about the realities of people, the good and the bad. And the reality is that there's a lot of things that Mitch Daniels did that didn't work out well, but definitely a plus in, what do they say, in the aggregate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So there's more to this poll, and we're going to get to that coming up from 93 WIBC.
Meanwhile, on Santa's Twitter.
Santa, can I get a new laptop for Christmas? At Hunter Biden. You're just like Trump, a fat old white guy who wears a red hat. At Nancy Pelosi.
On our Twitter, get the latest news all holiday season.
We see you when you're sleeping. We also plan to seize copies of your list at the FBI.
At 93 WIBC.
Some people got COVID and thought, well, that wasn't such a big deal. But you can get COVID again, and next time it could be worse, especially for those 50 and older, or with a chronic condition like heart disease or diabetes. But with an updated vaccine, you have better protection from COVID's worst outcomes. And that's a big deal. Find updated COVID vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The share it with a friend deal. Even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
$3 meals? Sounds 3 times as tasty. Choose from a crispy 6-piece McNuggets or juicy double cheeseburger and add small fries. All for only $3. Add any size soft drink for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great.
Seminars January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30, stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Crew Car Wash books make the perfect holiday gift, and right now buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free, available online or at any Crew Car Wash location.
Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year and give her a diamond engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
Lighten up, Francis.
Casey Daniels.
I want to party with you, cowboy. The two of us together, forget it.
On 93 WIBC.
Now there's trouble busting in from out of state, and the DA can't
you know, right? Just let it go. Good job, Kevin. That's outstanding.
Yeah, I actually listened to this for the first time over the weekend because I'd always known the band version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a darker version here.
It's Bruce Springsteen.
Of course it
Atlantic
is.
City on 93.1 WIBC.
And this is he wrote this.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. The better version.
All the listeners know you're back because Bruce Springsteen is the bumper music
I didn't
again.
even ask for this.
Yeah, it was a welcome back treat.
Yeah.
The bromance continues. A welcome back treat. It is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. And former Vice President Mike Pence says that he will make a decision in the new year about whether he will seek national office. Okay, so he was on Fox News, right? And they asked him about if he was eyeing the presidency or the Senate, and he seemed to throw a little cold water on the Senate bid, right? But he acknowledged that he has one more season of public service in him.
It's a whole... I love how he calls it public service. Let's
Whatever
just call
a season is in his mind, by the way.
You notice he doesn't have one more season of getting a real job. He doesn't have one more season of contributing to the economy. He doesn't have one more season of producing anything of value to the collective because he calls it public service. Let's call it what it is. The grift, right? This dude has been trying to grift since I was about 7 years old, and he is, 5 years old, and I am a 38-year-old, about to be 39-year-old grown-ass man. He tried to run for U.S. Congress, not once but twice, got embarrassed, and spent 10 years plotting how to get into the U.S. Congress, and for the past, whatever it's been now, 22 years, it has just been one public office to the next. The person who got out best out of Mike Pence being in public office is Mike Pence. And the reason he doesn't want to run for U.S. Senate is because he can't win because Indiana's sick of Mike Pence. We have had enough of Mike Pence.
It seems like he sounded like he needed, it would be a demotion for him to be senator.
Well, I guess it does truly show, and I say this about any person who wants to run for president, including and up to Ron DeSantis, there is a certain level of narcissism to think in a country of 330 plus million people that you could do it better than anyone else. I'm talking about people we like politically, people we don't like politically. But this guy, man, dude, I will ask the question again. Mike Pence has been in public office, I think he was, 22 years now, continuously. So he went, from Congress to governor to vice president. Now, I guess he's been out. So for 20 consecutive years, Mike Pence was in a public office. What is the signature accomplishment of Mike Pence? Anyone? Anybody? Governor, U.S. House. I mean, he did vote to send a bunch of kids to fight and die in ill-begotten wars that, he also ran up the deficits, voted for an unfunded tax cut, I guess, was pretty good, but it wasn't funded. Governor, RFRA, colossal embarrassment, state-run news agency. There was a speckle of tax reform that was sprinkled in there. Universal pre-kindergarten funded by Mike Pence, opted out of Common Core, spent $100 million basically to give us 90% of Common Core. I mean, what is it? What is it? And this guy, I should be president.
He was really unpopular when he left office in 2016, right before Trump came in.
That's why he doesn't want to run for Senate, Casey. It's not because it's beneath him. It's because he wouldn't win because he is not popular here because we know Mike Pence.
In 2016, his approval rating was actually underwater.
He would have been
at 40%
boat raced by
approved.
John Gregg.
Yeah.
And so here he is on Fox and Friends. I guess the Senate not good enough for him, and there's one season of service, one season of service left.
And if not the presidency, would you be open to running in that Senate seat in Indiana?
Well, I would tell you, I've had the privilege of serving in Congress and the House of Representatives, Governor of Indiana and Vice President of the United States. It's an incredible privilege for me. And my family is going to take time over this holiday season when we're all together for the first time in 3 years to give prayerful consideration to where we might next step forward to serve our country. But for us, it's always about a calling. I mean, if you read my book, Dana, and I'm honored if you did, you'll find early in my political career, I allowed my ambition to get ahead of my Christian faith, what I thought my faith required of me in the public square. But the last 20 years, it's been about a calling and about trying to respond to that call. So we're going to listen to one another. We're going to pray. We're going to continue to listen to the American people. And sometime in the course of the next year, I think we'll be able to discern that. And I promise
Is the Senate race at all a possibility?
You know, I served as president of the Senate for 4 years, and that was a great privilege.
Was that enough?
But, for us, I would tell you that the extraordinary experiences that we've had in our life the response that we've gotten to telling our story in my book, So Help Me God, the encouragement from around the country has us just thinking about maybe one more season of service, and that's the one we're focused on.
Okay, we'll put you down as a maybe.
You notice there's nothing about getting a real job, creating jobs, working somewhere. Like the ponderance is not, should I get a real job or should I go forward in politics? Like I had this. I had to make a choice whether I was going to run for a future public office or at a great opportunity in the private sector to go have a job that I enjoyed, that created revenue and had fun with, and I took that. These people never ponder, should I go back and get a real job? It's always, what political office? What? Dude, let go.
Isn't it
Just
interesting,
let it go.
though? So Mitch, Holcomb, Pence, all sniffing around the Senate position. And can you imagine if all of these guys ran, former governors running for Senate, and meanwhile we have a former senator running for governor?
You know who I would vote?
moving the chess pieces.
But you know who I would vote for over all of those people?
Micah
Don't
Beckwith?
say it. No.
What?
No.
Kurt Darling.
Nope.
And the news is coming up next.
Okay, it's 93 WIBC.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
This holiday, give the people you treasure something they'll treasure, a gift from Shane Company. Our unique jewelry makes a spectacular gift. I'm Tom Shane. One of my favorites is an elegant necklace featuring a colorful east-west gemstone with diamond accents for $250. We offer it in 4 different gemstones, so you can select a color she loves. Choose red garnet, purple amethyst, sky blue topaz, or yellow citrine. Another favorite are diamond huggy earrings for $1,145. I picked these hoops because they fit close to the ear and are great for any occasion. Select either white gold, yellow gold, or rose gold. Our link necklace at $525 is a favorite because the diamond accents give the gold a touch of sparkle. Visit us for more gifts at a great value. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
'Tis the season to find your perfect car or truck at Hubler. Get your vehicle your way. We'll help you pre-order a vehicle built just for you. Visit drivehubler.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's still in place. Partly cloudy and 28 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. It was a Hoosier on the Supreme Court who has blocked the end of Title 42. Fox's Gernal Scott.
Chief Justice of the United States John Roberts has stayed the ending of Title 42 in response to 19 Republican-led states' hopes to block the scheduled Wednesday end, which they say would bring a migration surge. A decision on how to proceed could come late Tuesday, either allowing Title 42 to expire as scheduled or extending the state's injunction, keeping the COVID migration restriction in place. For now, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A strong earthquake rocked the Northern California coast overnight. The magnitude 6.4 quake was reported just after 3:20 a.m. near the town of Ferndale, followed by nearly 20 smaller aftershocks. It knocked out power to thousands of homes and is in about a 30-mile stretch of communities. And now the stock reports some slight declines at the opening bell. The Dow was down 19 to 32,954. The Nasdaq down 62 to 11,130, and the S&P 500 is down 10 to 3,835. I'm Kurt Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Maybe you need a bigger home for your office or growing family. There's only one real estate agent I'd trust to sell my home. That's Mark Dietl. Mark took care of Lori and Kathy in Indianapolis. It was time for Mom to get some help, so they needed to sell her condo and make some money to help her pay for the new place. They got multiple offers over a few weeks and sold the condo over their asking price, thanks to Mark Dietl.
Listen, you have a lot of options in the real estate game, but there's only one agent that we recommend and trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show, and that's Mark Dietl, because Mark Dietl has the guarantee. Mark Dietl can guarantee an offer in 3 days at full market value, or he will list it for free. Call Mark Dietl right now, 317-755-4232, or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Be sure to tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
You'll be talking to family and friends on the phone during the holidays, so make sure everyone enjoys the conversation, including those with hearing loss. RelayIndiana.com provides captioned telephones that allow the hard of hearing to have normal phone conversations through voice recognition technology. The other person's words appear on an easy-to-read screen. Don't let those with hearing loss become isolated during the holidays. Get the CapTel captioned telephone from Relay Indiana. Learn more at RelayIndiana.com.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
Pierce Jewelers has the perfect sparkle to put under the tree this Christmas. So don't be a Grinch. Spoil your loved one with a little blue box from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Amen. Amen.
It's time to go to church. Here to preach to the choir from the bully pulpit, Pastor Micah Beckwith.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here, and look who it is in person today. Hello, Micah Beckwith. How are you?
I'm doing well.
So the reason you're here is I think Abdul is going to have to go away for a while if and when he declares he's running for public office. So that means I need a new someone to sit and listen to me bloviate on State House happenings. And so I was willing to give Beckwith a bite at the apple here over the next couple weeks. So Mike is going to be joining us as the co-host for a couple weeks on State House happenings.
Lucky you. Look at that.
He pays a lot.
Oh.
I mean, it's really only for the money.
So I go down to get... I go down to get Micah today, and he is like wandering aimlessly down on Monument Circle, and it's still dark. And I told him, buddy, I don't think that's a very good idea for you to be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty.
It's pretty.
I mean, the lights and
when you're dodging, it is the most beautiful place in the world to dodge the bullets and the rampant crime. It is outstanding.
I had my wallet safely secured in a random spot on my body that no one would ever look.
So I have not.
I don't know where that was going.
I have not told. That's fine. Half the things I do in this radio station, I have no idea where they're going. We have a very low bar to hop over. I've not told Casey this yet, but we hung out together on Saturday evening. Went to the Matt Walsh get together.
Oh, did you go?
It was fun. Yeah.
Did you guys get to meet him?
Yes, we did. And
we were VIPs.
Yeah, we were.
Of course you were.
I don't know.
You were.
I mean, we have many leather-bound books.
So Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire came, spoke at the War Memorial, and Micah, because he lives a very high-profile freewheeling lifestyle, was like, hey, Matt Walsh is going to be at the War Memorial. You should join my wife and I for the event. I said, oh, great. He's like, yeah, we're getting the VIP meet and greet tickets. And they were like $9,833 a piece. And so by then I'd already asked my wife, would you like to go see Matt Walsh, who is one of her favorite is it people or persons?
People
In the entire world. So now I'm already locked into, I must get these $8,333 VIP meet and greet tickets. So I tried, Casey, I don't know if you ever do this when you buy a ticket that includes a meal to something. I tried to eat the cost of the ticket in my meal.
$8,000 worth of mashed potatoes.
Is it a buffet? He just kept going back.
It was interesting. I thought he was. I actually thought he gave a pretty good speech. He did the Q&A at the end. My wife sprinted to the nearest microphone to be able to ask him a question. I think the highlight of her life was she got to ask Matt Walsh a question. I feel like you and I should start a tour, though, Beckwith. I think we do very well. We could totally sell out the War Memorial like Walsh did.
Hey, I think we're already on to it. What did you call it? We were talking about this on the way out.
Yeah, I've got a lot of problems with you people tour.
Launch it during Festivus.
I love it. Yes. Well, I think we should actually do that. And you were thinking about possibly writing a book even.
Yeah.
And so we could, use that to promote the tour.
The first one did so well, he's got to follow it up, right?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, though. It's a lot of work to write a book. I don't know. I mean, I'm needed here, and I got to put all my attention towards the show.
Get Casey to be your ghostwriter.
Oh, that's right. I mean, Casey, have you ever written anything?
No, please, come on.
Casey has a regular feature called the Side Piece on WIBC.com. Hey, woman, have you ever written anything?
Just 3 hours worth of content on a daily basis.
Oh, wow.
But whatever. And by the way, I'm not a ghostwriter. He knows very well that I'm in charge of bringing the snacks.
Yes, absolutely. No, absolutely. And Micah and I met a friend during the VIP meet and greet. Who, Casey, and I haven't done.
Who
not
did
Casey
you meet?
Oh man, it got a little awkward.
Okay. So Micah disappears during the meet and greet, and so it's my wife and Micah's wife, and we're just sitting there talking. And at some point, we realize it's been 33 minutes where we've not seen Micah, and so she said, "Can you go over and get Micah and have him get me a soda and come back here?" And so I went up to him. He was talking to some guy, and I said, "Micah, your wife is going to divorce you if you do not get her a soda and get back to the group." So he goes over. I'm talking to the guy, and then again, it's another 30 minutes, and Micah's still talking to someone. So I said, I'm going to go over and get him. And you remember, Casey, the woman who was the lobbyist for Rokita, who didn't properly register as a lobbyist and still got like a $200,000 contract, but was so incompetent that she didn't know how to file as a lobbyist. And we reported that news that our attorney general hired a friend who was so unqualified to do the job he hired her for. She didn't even know how to register to be that person. Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
We met her.
That's who you spent all the time talking to.
Well, she spent about 7 seconds once I rolled up there.
Oh.
But yes. Erin Tuttle, that's her name. Yes.
That's right.
So Casey, apparently it is my fault that I reported to people that she had a multi-$100,000 lobbying contract and didn't know how to register as a lobbyist. That was my fault.
Did she let you know it was your fault?
Yes, she was very, very not happy that I was in attendance.
It was, and good on her. I was kind of like, Rob needs to get a few punches there.
I have never seen Micah uncomfortable, and Micah was so
I wasn't.
Because I'm racking my brain. This woman clearly has high levels of animosity towards me.
Can't figure out why.
I'm like, who are... I've called so many Republicans out over the years. I was like, who are you? What? I know you're not an elected person. And this is like, she was, the tone in her voice and the look on her face, it was, if I could murder you and get away with it, I would do it.
Okay. And I think this conversation right now is going to turn her around.
No, that's
okay. So here's the thing. She is on our team. That's the point that, I was making. I was like, listen, you guys are on the same team.
Are we?
Now, yes, you are. She's fighting for some really good pro-parent.
For $200,000. Oh, yeah, I'd
you
fight
get
too.
Paid the same amount to be on the air. Probably.
Maybe.
And I would figure out how to register for the job.
Actually, he's got a bonus schedule depending on who wins in any election.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
If the Libertarians win, he's going to be a multimillionaire overnight.
People will never see me ever again.
So the funny thing on that was, though, as she's walking away, Rob yells out at her as she's walking away, "Thanks for the high taxes."
Oh, no, you didn't.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, for the high taxes. And then he's like, who was that? Who? Like, who did I make mad now?
You didn't even know who you were yelling
I
at.
couldn't remember.
I just want the record to show that he just assumes that he ran down somebody's throat because of the high taxes that they were, incurring on the Hoosier.
Well, technically, that's not wrong. I mean, it was not soup kitchen money that pays her lobbying deal.
Well,
I mean, it's my tax money, and our taxes are very high, and
listen,
this is why.
Rob, you guys are on the same team. She's doing good
What
work.
does that mean we're on the same team?
You guys are pushing the same pro-Constitution.
I'm doing it for $0. She has a $200,000 lobbying contract.
Listen, I think you guys need to learn how to get in the sandbox and play well together, Rob. Now, I will say, you can call people out. That's what I like about you, Rob. So I like
Why
about
is she
Casey.
mad at me? She's the one who did it.
Listen, she can make mistakes, and I think she owns that.
She didn't. You know what she should have said, and this would have been, now we would be praising her, is, Rob, you're right. I was totally unqualified for that position. I clearly knew so little about it that I couldn't register properly, and I appreciate you holding me and Todd Rokita accountable. What would be wrong with that? That's all I did.
Well, I think she was qualified. I think she was very qualified.
She didn't even know how to register.
Doesn't mean that she wasn't qualified. It means people make mistakes, Rob. Have you ever made a mistake in your life?
Not for $200,000.
You've never made that much money in your whole life to begin with.
So I totally embarrassed Micah at the Matt Walsh event, and this is why I can't go anywhere.
Yeah, so I was going to say, have you learned your lesson, Micah, that you should not be taking him out in public anymore?
No, I have not. I like Rob. Rob, again, this is what I say about Rob. Even to the people who don't like Rob in the Republican Party, I say, hey, do you blame him? Like, he has points. He's making good points. Over the last 4 years, we've seen our liberties abused in ways we've never seen them abused, and the Republican Party has been the party in power. And so you need people like Rob who are calling out the BS nonsense that's going on. So I can see the value in both, but I still am a Republican because I believe the principles of the party are the best for our
and
nation.
here's the thing, Casey, there were so many people. Like I always say, it's the politicians versus the folks, right? And amongst the folks, people were coming up saying, man, we love the show. The show is great. The politicians, yes, they want to make me float in the White River. Yes, absolutely. We understand that. But the people, and that's who's listening to us, right? That's who we serve, are the people. And there were tons of people there that were like, we love the show. The show is great. And that's why I decided with Micah that we've got to start this. We've got a lot of problems with you people tour.
I think, and let's do it. I think it would sell out. And the other thing people kept coming up to you saying, man, Casey is so much better looking than you, Rob.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
It's amazing.
Why is she with you?
She is the looks of this show by far. So
Beauty and the Beast.
They were like, Rob, you're shorter than we expected.
Some guy was like, I thought you're kind of short. What do you mean? I thought, what is this?
They had a picture in their mind of what you look like, and you did not meet the expectation.
He was like 93 feet tall, too. It was like, well, Manute Bol is shorter compared to you. Yes. So, and I feel terrible that I had forgotten her name. That would have been a much better conversation with her if I had remembered who she was.
I've been trying to get her to come on the show.
Yeah, she totally should.
And I think
she's
she
going
should.
to now.
Well, hey, if you're a politician or someone that doesn't like Rob and he's had a problem with you, you got to get on the show because
we'll just turn his microphone off.
No, that's right. Casey will be the one who leads the interview.
But seriously, we would be done here if she had just said, Rob, you are right. I made a major mistake, and I really clearly did not know what I was doing, and thanks for holding me and the Republicans accountable. What would I have said to that?
100%. And that's what to every politician out there that doesn't like you, get on the show, defend your point, and own it. If you made a mistake, it's okay. We all make mistakes. There's grace for people who make mistakes, but what the people get ticked about is when you try to hide, try to cover it up, you try to say, no, it's not my fault, it's Rob's fault, it's this guy who's calling me out.
It's the last guy's fault.
That's exactly. So I think that's what all the politicians need to take, especially the Republicans, get into the arena and defend your point of view. And if you can't defend your point of view, you have no business being in the arena.
Pastor Micah Beckwith, sorry for ruining all your friendships. I'm sure I've cost you several donations when you run for Congress.
Hope he's worth it.
Hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Well, you're not good looking. So.
Casey, would you like to take us to break?
On that note, it is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel Show, the growing split in the Republican Party over Donald Trump. What exactly is going on? That's at 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
I'd rather be folding laundry.
This is gonna be fun.
Said no one ever. Also, no one enjoys wasting time in traffic. That's why we love saving you time. Matt Baird Traffic.
Backups are already starting.
On 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again, my blood pressure went down, and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars, $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30, stop smoking 8 p.m. Or January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m., stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
The world is always on. But you shouldn't be. Put junk sleep to bed. During Mattress Firm's Dream December sale, get a king for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $700 on Sealy. Only at Mattress Firm.
Gather near and bring the cheer this holiday season. Dazzle and delight the love of your life with a gift from Helzberg Diamonds. Don't miss great prices on stunning diamond studs, tennis bracelets, gemstone rings, and the year's must-have look, gold jewelry for stacking and layering. Another reason to go to Helzberg? Get a free Microsoft Surface Laptop Go with a purchase of $1,699 or more. Visit Helzberg.com or a store near you today. Limited time offer while supplies last. See online or in store for details.
Hi, this is Mark Chester from Marshall Mechanical. On behalf of Eric Marshall and our whole team at Marshall Mechanical, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you have a home heating emergency during the holidays, please feel free to give us a call at 317-738-5940 or find us online at callthemarshallnow.com.
Marshall Mechanical is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is 9:49. This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
All right, you going to tell? You going to tell what you did, or in this case, didn't do?
I'll tell, but you're going to pick on me, and I don't understand why, because I think I did the right thing. So somebody within my neighborhood was a victim of crime, and I was not even a witness to it, but I was the one who I think helped them solve their problem. Maybe. I don't know.
You think you helped the situation?
I think I did help the situation. Okay, so this is what happened. There was a car parked out in front of the condo, about 2 spaces down from mine, and it had been broken into.
Yes.
The passenger door was left wide open.
Yes.
There were 3 huge rocks laying near the car.
Right.
The back window had been shattered out. There was glass all over the concrete. And it just sat there and it remained that way.
So there's no doubt when you saw this car, it's not like Fred left his car door open.
Right.
A crime of some sort.
Clearly with the 3 rocks and the shattered glass.
So you are witnessing a crime scene.
I didn't witness it.
No, you witnessed a crime scene. You walked past
the area.
You did not
yes.
witness a crime, but you walked past a crime scene. So no doubt, as a great neighbor, having witnessed a crime scene, you immediately called 911.
Well, I waited a few hours and watched out the window to see if whose ever car it was going to come clean up the glass or take care of the situation.
You did not call the police, and you sat there and looked out your window in hopes that the victim of the crime would clean up the crime they had been victimized on.
Yes, because I didn't recognize the car.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know who it belonged to.
Sure.
But it just sat out there because notice it early in the morning when it took the dog for the walk.
Yes.
Okay. The sun was barely coming up, but then it stayed that way all day long. And the weird part
So you just
to me,
stared at a crime scene.
Well, the weird part to me was that the passenger door remained wide open.
Right. Someone could have been injured, abducted.
And so, throughout the day, and this lasted all day. It was all day on Sunday.
You just kept staring at a crime
And
scene.
I just kept looking to see if it came
right out your front door.
Yeah, if it was getting cleaned up or not. And eventually, I finally said, okay, you know what? We should probably call the police.
How long did you wait?
It was about 12 hours.
So you witnessed a crime scene. You had no idea if someone had been abducted, injured, harmed, items stolen.
Yeah.
And you just sat there for 12 hours and stared out your window and said someone should come clean up this crime scene.
Well, I was giving them an opportunity. I wasn't sure what was going on. And my first instinct, honestly, Rob, was to think of myself, as most people would.
Right.
And the thought...
Who's your hospitality? I get it. Yeah, totally
the
understand.
thought crossed my mind, hey, when my daughter comes home for Christmas, I have to remind her not to leave anything valuable in her car.
Right.
Because I don't want somebody to see that and then do the same thing, take a big rock, break her window,
Sure.
and steal the item.
So you were totally invested in you because you had not been victimized by the crime, and you did not think at all about the person who clearly had been victimized by the crime.
I did think of the
I never
victim-
saw this coming from you.
Eventually, because then I realized, okay, you know what? This passenger door is still open.
Right.
It's been like this all day long. Nobody is coming to clean this up or to claim the vehicle. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I should call the police because if, I don't know, was someone abducted or are they sitting in their condo and they're injured and they live alone and they're not expected back at work for another week because it's the holiday and maybe they're MIA for a long time and nobody even knows about this person being gone. And okay, so yes, we should probably call the police.
Well, and I'm not surprised from you because you're a vicious killer, and I understand. But I am surprised that your significant other, because he's usually got a heart of gold, was not, because he's witnessed the crime scene first.
You don't even know what you're talking about because I'm the one who said we should call the police on this, and this is why. And he finally was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that." So we called the non-emergency line for the police.
Yes.
And gave them all of the stats of the situation.
Right.
And, you know, they took my name and phone number and address. And I thought for sure they're going to come knocking on the door, asking more questions a little bit later. No, within about 5-10 minutes, a tow truck came and took the car. So they must have run the plates.
And the police never showed up.
Police never showed up.
At all?
No, at all. Yeah, so I'm thinking that
well,
what
now
happened,
I'm more disappointed in the police than I am in you.
Well, and I was on hold for 15 minutes, by the way, the non-emergency line, which I thought was pretty good for a non-emergency line. But, yeah, so I'm guessing that we called the police, they ran the plates, contacted the owner. Like, did the owner even know that their car had been broken into? I don't know. It's a mystery, Rob.
This whole thing is unbelievable. I'm
true story.
I have no doubt. Why would you make something up about yourself like that? Kevin, have you ever witnessed a crime scene and just kept walking?
I don't believe so. But in Casey's defense, I will say that, yeah, I guess I probably wouldn't be too quick to call the police.
What is wrong with you people?
But then I was thinking about it. Yeah, the fact that it's right in front of her home, you know, it makes sense to call at some point. And
I was concerned. It just took a while for the concern to sink in.
You two are just unbelievable.
We're just human.
Both of you. Unbelievable.
Well, Okay. I thought I did the right thing by calling the cops. I just didn't do it quick enough.
Yeah, Rob has come back just to shame us all. This is terrible.
Hey, when we come back, I have an unbelievable story for you guys about something that happens locally.
Okay.
That just blew my mind.
All right. It is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
The countdown to the new year has begun, and there's still time to invest in your child's or grandchild's future education with Indiana College Choice 529 savings plans. Open an account and make a contribution by December 31st, and you could receive a 20% Indiana state tax credit worth up to $1,000. Giving is receiving. Open an account and contribute today. Visit collegechoicedirect.com/plans and read the disclosure booklet carefully before investing.
AAA has bailed me out multiple times, including this one time I was at work, battery died, couldn't go anywhere. AAA was here within 45 minutes. They pulled my old battery out, put a new one in, and I was on my way. And if you're still not done with your holiday shopping, if you're a AAA member like me, I've got you covered, okay? Give the gift of peace of mind this holiday season, a AAA membership. It's the gift that keeps giving well past the holidays. Flat tires, dead batteries, lock your keys in your car, 24/7 roadside assistance from AAA for an entire year. I'm a AAA member. You should be too.
Check another thing off of your list by giving someone you care about a AAA membership. Get yours today at your local AAA office by calling 844-GO-AAA-GO or visiting AAA.com. And don't forget to ask about complimentary travel planning and great insurance rates, auto, home, life, and more, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA.
Smith & Wesson is committed to empowering Americans no matter what. With inflation hitting everywhere, we've decided to make a change. Now, you can buy a Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, our most popular concealed carry firearm, at an all-new low price, $100 off MSRP. We're absorbing the costs and passing along the savings to you, so you don't have to compromise on personal security. Visit smithandwesson.com to find a Shield Plus near you. Smith & Wesson. Always expect the best.
The share it with a friend deal, even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
$3 meals? Sounds 3 times as tasty. Choose from a crispy 6-piece McNuggets or juicy double cheeseburger and add small fries, all for only $3. Add any size soft drink for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month. But you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
Emma and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a winter storm is coming, but forecasters are still not exactly sure what to expect. Plus, Chris Davis reports on the sentence of a woman who hit a bailiff in court. But what was the reason behind it? That and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
Will Title 42 end tomorrow? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The Supreme Court halted the COVID policy lifting for now, giving the Justice Department until this afternoon to respond as Republican-led states sue to keep the policy in place. GOP Congressman James Comer tells Fox.
Hats off to the attorneys general who are doing the right thing, doing everything in their ability to try to do what this administration has failed to do, and that is to secure the border.
Title 42 has blocked some migrants from entering the U.S. illegally. The fear is ending it will lead to a wave of crossings bigger than the already record surge. A Democrat-led House committee will vote today on whether to make public former President Trump's tax returns 6 years' worth after courts rejected his attempts to keep them sealed. That vote the day after another Democrat-led committee finished its Capitol riot investigation alleging Trump committed crimes.
He summoned a mob to Washington, and knowingly they were armed and angry, pointed them to the Capitol and told them to fight like hell.
Chairman Benny Thompson and the committee referring 4 criminal charges to the Justice Department to consider. The former president calls it a hoax that will only have freedom-loving people rallying around him. A partial victory in court in Arizona for the Trump-backed Republican who lost the governor's race.
Carrie Lake is refusing to accept election defeat. Her attorneys telling a Superior Court judge that the Arizona governor's race was stolen from her and her supporters.
That's Fox's Jonathan Hunt. The Democrat who won, Governor-elect Katie Hobbs, tried to get a judge to dismiss Lake's lawsuit, but he's allowing 2 of her 10 claims to go to trial. An earthquake shook things up in Northern California around 2 a.m., sending things flying off shelves in Humboldt County. People are posting online pictures and videos of damage. The 6.4 magnitude quake also knocked out power to tens of thousands. They rescued a survivor off the Thailand coast, but also found 5 bodies after a Thai Navy ship sank in rough seas. 24 sailors still missing. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A flash freeze. It's partly cloudy and 30 degrees downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. That's what you can expect late Thursday evening.
It's going to be dangerously cold. That's going to cause problems, obviously, for anybody that's exposed to the cold. And then on top of that, obviously, we have the precipitation we need to be concerned about as well.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says areas around Terre Haute to Indianapolis, there could be rain at times early Thursday, but then a cold front moves through, causing temps to plummet quickly, making roads icy and slick. He's also not ruling out heavy snow once temperatures fall. Who do you want to be Indiana's next senator? Well, a new poll apparently shows that most Hoosier Republicans want outgoing Purdue President Mitch Daniels. The Bellwether Research poll showed that 32% of surveyed Republicans in Indiana would vote for Daniels if he ran over other possible candidates like Jim Banks or Victoria Sparks. Anger, sadness, all of the emotions that come with losing a son to murder and are why Ana Maria Gomez Nabasco told a judge that she tried outside a courtroom to punch the man that was accused of killing her son and missed.
Instead, she hit a bailiff and was arrested on a felony charge of battery on a public safety official or hitting a cop. Monday, she faced a judge in Fort Wayne for sentencing and got 1 year suspended because she agreed to plead guilty to a lesser charge. But Mrs. Gomez Nolasco will still be a felon, and the matter of her son's murder still has not been resolved. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Narcan saved the life of Tammy Stucker's son in Kokomo a few years back.
He is doing well today, clean, sober, and progressing with life. And so I'm thankful that he had that opportunity to have that administered to him and save him.
Talking to Wish TV, now she's grateful that the state's first Narcan vending machine is now open in Kokomo. Gas is inching closer to below $3 a gallon. $3.02 is the average for unleaded today, says Gas Buddy. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
A surprise proposal under the stars. A diamond ring symbolizing your love. A promise to inspire, respect, and love one another. Visit Chain Company to create a treasure that will hold meaning forever. We design our engagement rings in-house, so any style you choose will be a unique creation. We know a ring comes to life when it's set with a center stone that speaks to you. Chain Company offers the largest selection of center stones, natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds, as well as natural gemstones including rubies, sapphires, peach morganite, aquamarine, and amethyst. We sell our center stones loose, so you can compare stones side by side and select the one that's right for you. Or select a perfectly preset ring that's ready to go. A jewelry consultant will work with you to help you maximize your budget. Our free lifetime warranty even covers the center stone. Make this the holiday you'll both treasure forever.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com. Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 20th. It is 6 minutes after 10. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. And let's start off this hour by talking about Kyle Hupfer. So the Indiana Republican Party chairman is looking to move up by running for the number 2 spot at the Republican National Committee. He wants to be the co-chairman. So what's the difference between the chairperson and the co-chair?
You're subservient to the chairman. It's kind of like me with you. You're the chairman of this radio show, and I'm the co-chairman.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly
hope
like
that provides some perspective.
Okay.
So look, here's the deal. Kyle Hupfer, under his leadership, the Indiana Republican Party has done a couple of things very well. They have grown government, they have grown the cost of government, and they have raised your taxes. And yes, they have maintained supermajorities and all the statewide offices. And of course, they basically have axed the statewide office they had trouble winning, which was the superintendent of education. They were basically like, well, we'll just make it so you can't vote on that anymore. So Kyle Hupfer, in a weird way, running to be a national party figurehead is exactly what the Republicans nationally have become. Maybe Kyle Hupfer
is the perfect guy
is
for the
the
job.
perfect guy, because the Indiana Republican Party is the party of big government, big taxes, big spending. Look at the Holcomb's little press dealio he did the other day. What's he focused on? Well, I must figure out a way to get teachers more money. Well, what about nurses? What about cops? What about firefighters? What about dentists? What about plumbers? What about carpenters? What about filling any profession? Nope. We must figure out how to get teachers more money. Hey, what about the looming property tax crisis that's about to affect every homeowner in this state because of a very flawed, horrific assessment process? Nope. Don't have anything for you there, but teacher pay. We're going to make sure that's who the Republicans are. $120 million new dollars for public health. Is that going to fix public health? Don't know. Going to give it a shot. What about us? Nope, nothing for you. Kyle Hupfer is Eric Holcomb. They are the same guy. And in a weird way, in a world where Kevin McCarthy and Mitch McConnell call the shots, Kyle Hupfer's a perfect guy to lead the National Republican Party. This is why I'm essentially just done with these people.
Okay, well, he said, I served as an officer for the RNC. I'm familiar with how it works and a broad swath of the party. I think I can help out. And they're going to choose the chair and the co-chair at the winter meeting, which happens in late January. He said Republicans need to look at things differently to grow the party nationally. And he said our voters are getting older and we've got to find ways to connect with diverse and younger Americans and message to them why the Republican Party is good for the country.
So I was thinking about this yesterday because one of the things in this quote that really stood out to me is something that I ran into with government all the time, especially in local government, is to a guy like Kyle Hupfer, the idea of the party, like they almost see the party as a person, right? The party is not a person. The party is a makeup of a group of people. And to a guy like Kyle Hupfer, the party, the entity, is the most important thing. It doesn't matter what principles get compromised. It doesn't matter whether you adhere to the party platform. It doesn't matter whether you follow through on what you've told people you are going to do. What matters to a Kyle Hupfer, to an Eric Holcomb, to the establishment wing of the Republican Party, both here in Indiana and across this nation, is that the party itself as an entity as numbers, is strong. It's the same thing I used to run into with local government all the time. When I used to fight with these bureaucrats, whether it was a town manager or a planning director or whatever, where the idea of the town, in my case, it could be a city, whatever, as an entity. They were concerned with the entity itself rather than the people in the entity. And here's a great example of this. They always wanted to raise the water and sewer rates, which the clowns who took control after me have done a phenomenal job because, well, for the entity, it was better to continue to use resources on things like excessive parks programs or whatever versus taking the money and putting it into the utility. Well, because for the entity to grow, it's better to use the money for the parks and these various other programs, and then the people should just pay more. Well, but we don't serve. We're not supposed to serve the entity because the entity isn't real. The entity isn't a thing. The town doesn't breathe. It doesn't have a heartbeat. But to these people, whether it's political parties or it's government, the entity and protecting and growing the entity rather than the people in the entity is always the most important thing.
Okay, so he's got a couple opponents. One is Drew McKissick, who's a chairman of the South Carolina Republican Party, and then also North Carolina, Michael Whatley. So
I would vote for a piece of roast beef over Kyle Hupfer.
Well, if he were to win this, does he have to step down as the Indiana Republican chair?
Oh, I would assume he would want to do that. But let me say, Kevin laughed. Like if it were literally like if you were a string of roast beef that fell off the slicer at Arby's versus Kyle Hupfer, I would vote for the string of roast beef that fell off the slicer at Arby's over this guy. I am so sick. I'm so sick of these guys, and they just keep getting more and more and more powerful because conservatives keep rolling over and playing dead.
Does he have to get along with the chairperson? Are they working in tandem together?
Oh, yeah, right. And Ronna McDaniel, and then this is another great example. Ronna McDaniel, who has been horrific, who has just lost. Ronna McDaniel's also the perfect person to be the chairperson because, well, what'd she do? She loses. That's all she does since she's been in there. Lose.
And spent a lot of money doing it.
And she's going to be reelected. And Mitch McConnell, who's a loser, is going to be elected. And Kevin McCarthy, who's a loser, is going to be reelected. So in this batch of losers, Kyle Hupfer would fit right in.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. All right, tell me your story. You went out and saw a concert.
Yes. Thursday night, friend of the show, Joel Smallbone of For King and Country, invited me to their concert. And
they were at Gamebridge, right?
Gamebridge.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, like before we get all these emails all the time about interview this person or interview that person.
Most of the time they're authors.
Right. And so I got an email from one of their PR people and said, this mega Grammy winning Christian group, whatever. And so I called Micah and I was like, are these guys?
Who are these guys?
Yeah, are these guys? He's like, they're a really big deal. You should interview them. They have a huge following. I said, okay, it might be good for our show, whatever. And then you start looking into these guys and you realize, well, clearly I am the one who's totally out of the loop because For King and Country is a gigantic group and they have all sorts of Grammys and have sold, all these albums and something. And man, what are they going to do? Like cut Gamebridge in half? How big can they basically sold out Gamebridge. They had Gamebridge set up where it probably had be 13, I would guess between 12 and 13,000 seats. They have the back thing roped off as most concerts do.
Yeah, back of stage.
Their show was incredible.
Yeah. It looked like it.
It's like Cirque du Soleil for contemporary Christian music. And these guys were just incredible. The music was incredible, the stage performance, whatever. And they were very nice. They hooked us up with some tickets. And then afterwards, Joel said, hey, come down and say hi. I'd like to thank you for having us on the show. And it's nice that I'm getting the respect I totally deserve for this very powerful media outlet. And so we were waiting around on the floor after the show. And, it took them, 20, 30 minutes by the time they got down and whatever. And so we're just sitting around there and we're talking to the security guard. And these guys, they're tearing the stage down. And so I asked the security guy, I said, are these local people who tear this down? He said, yeah, the people here are a local union that tear it down, but the equipment is all theirs. And they
load it on the truck and they take it with them.
Just like the Jackson Browne song, right? And so
you're talking about loadout?
Yes.
Okay.
And by the way, they almost always on modern radio, they always place the stay portion of that, but not the loadout portion, which is the best portion of the song. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Kevin's laughing because he knows it's right. So anyway, we're sitting there, it's been 15, 20 minutes. And these guys with yellow jumpsuits just show up in mass with like brooms and mops. And I'm like, what's the deal with these guys? He said, they're local inmates. That they let out at the end of every event at Gamebridge for the most part, and they mop up and like clean the floor.
Oh, wow.
So there's all this, they throw confetti and it's supposed to be snow and all these things.
Somebody's got to clean it up.
And it's like, you just let inmates just roam around here amongst us, the regulars. And I guess so, because they were pushing the brooms and mopping the floors, and they were there long after we were gone.
Yeah. And you weren't worried? You were all good?
Well, here's what I figured.
You were surrounded by security? You were okay?
Well, I mean, these guys didn't have guns.
Right.
It was, I'm saying the security guy didn't have a gun. Let's say that inmate had one, and I wish I'd gotten clarification whether they were from the jail or whether they were prison inmates, because I'm thinking one guy's marching by with the broom, and I don't notice people's appearances, but this person did strike me as someone who was probably not out ringing a bell at the local Salvation Army and was not in jail or prison or whatever it was for doing too much kindness. And I thought, what is to stop this guy from breaking that broom in half and just shoving it right through my stomach?
Yeah.
There's nothing. I'm walking right past this person. But apparently these must be low-level, non-violent...
white-collar crime?
This person didn't exactly look like a person who was an accountant, shall we say. And... But they all seemed to get along, and I saw no violence, and an episode of Oz didn't break out. And
well, they're doing their part then.
This just blew my mind. And it seems, I guess if the prisoners are behaving, this is a good use of resources.
Was the concert good?
Oh, it was great. It was phenomenal. It wasn't like Bruce Springsteen great.
What is?
But
I mean, honest.
It was great. I can now totally see why people are for King and Country and enjoy it. And the crazy thing was, then we were at the Walmart the next day. That's such a Hoosier thing. I called it the Walmart. We were at the Walmart the next day, and one of their songs was playing. Because they're playing Christmas music at Walmart. It's like,
there it is.
There it is, and I get it now.
Now you're open to a whole new.
It was
world
incredible.
of music,
and I was most impressed by the fact that they let people who are on the wrong side of the law clean up the joint afterwards.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to do it.
Yeah.
All right, it is 17 minutes after 10. This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
It would be rude for us to invite ourselves to your house. Instead, we're inviting you to ours for Christmas. It's the best in radio, theater, and music. Starring Hammer and Nigel in It's a Wonderful Life, Craig Garrison in A Christmas Carol, and 'Tis the Season with Mike Ahern. And enjoy music all day Christmas Day. Spend your holidays with us starting at 9 a.m. Christmas Eve morning on your home for Christmas, 93 WIBC.
It's Rob Kendall from my incredible friends at Life Church. By now, most of you know friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith. And most of you are aware, in addition to being a trusted conservative fighter, he's also part of the Life Church community that would love to welcome you and your family. They've got 4 campuses, including Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus online services. Learn more about Micah, Nathan, and the rest of Life Church by visiting their website at lifechurchin.com.
Food insecurity issues are at the center of many families' conversations. Nearly 800,000 Hoosiers and 1 in 6 children go hungry each night. Indiana's pig farmers are committed to giving back to their communities by donating millions of pounds of pork to local food banks, church pantries, and feeding programs. Pig farmers are committed to raising a safe, nutritious product that's available to the tables of families in Indiana communities. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and the past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Jewelry, rings, diamonds, and watches are just a few possible Christmas gifts at Pierce Jewelers. Let them help you celebrate that special moment with your loved one. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show.
Good morning, Vietnam!
on 93 WIBC.
I can't hear whatever music we're playing, so that's great.
Oh, it's a really, really great Bruce Springsteen song.
Yeah, sure it is.
Mhm.
Kevin would not make the mistake.
We're just going to keep jamming to it. You're missing it,
What is
man.
it?
Yeah, let's just let this one go for a while.
This is a great choice, Kevin.
Wait a second.
Rob's headphones aren't working right now, so he can only hear our voices. He can't hear this awesome song that we're playing.
Can I just make a plea for help here? Because apparently, does anybody work here anymore? Does anyone work here
Says
anymore?
the guy who's been on vacation for a couple days.
I tried not to take the days.
I know.
So my headphones are not working. Kevin's headphones are also having the same problem, but Kevin is not a prima donna like me, so he's toughing it out. And my problem is, and if anyone from Urban One in engineering of any sort can hear me, please send immediate help to the WIBC on-air studio. By the way, I just got an incident has been opened. Oh, great! An incident has been opened on my behalf. I don't need it opened. I just need somebody to come in here and
Studio 412.
What does that mean? An incident? So I sent an email because Kevin sent an email and didn't get a response. So I sent an email and copied like 9 people, and I got a generic response, not from any human, but an incident has been opened on my behalf. So
It was working fine yesterday when Brad was here.
Well, but it makes me feel better that Kevin is having the same issue, so I don't feel nearly as bad as though maybe my headphones are broken or something. It appears to be some sort of electrical issue, which probably is easily fixable if anyone were here.
It wasn't Bruce Springsteen, okay? Just so you know.
Was it like something terrible? Was it like Taylor Swift?
It was Bachman Turner Overdrive. You ain't seen nothing yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
BTO.
it's a song that everyone
I'd really
loves.
like to hear the bumper music.
I know you do. It's 22 minutes after 10. It's the Kendall and Casey show at 93 WIBC. Are you still able to talk? Can we still?
Yeah, my voice is working fine.
Okay.
They haven't stolen that from me yet. They've stolen my dignity, my pride, my fortune, my ability to hear the show.
But not your voice.
No, it's still good.
That's all that matters to our listeners. Okay, so let's talk about this poll, this Harvard-Harris poll. Independent voters doubt President Biden's mental fitness, and they believe he's too old to be president.
No kidding. No kidding.
64% of independents say that they don't know if he's got it. He's got the mental prowess to be president. 79% of Republicans, 27% of Democrats. Overall, 58% said they're questioning his mental ability.
So 58% overall, as you said. This should be the test, right? Like if you were to take away the name Joe Biden and you were to just like play audio of various Biden pressers, announcements, whatever, and then describe the symptoms of the man, you would ask the person, oh, good, one of our engineers is in the office today. Perfect. Great.
Maybe at noon they'll come fix this for you.
If you were to describe the symptoms of Joe Biden and say, should this person live on his own? Like live on his own, much less run in a country of 330 million plus people.
You're talking about the guy who can't exit a stage
Right.
properly,
No, absolutely.
falling off bikes.
I challenge people. I'm thanking the engineer. Sorry for all the mean things I said about you guys not being here. Sometimes you got to get tough with people, Casey.
I know. I hear you.
And our engineering staff does a great job. It's just I just need them to be here. They're phenomenal. They're the best.
Their help is on the way.
Did you know, and I'm just putting them over big time now, did you know why the Colts have one of the best broadcasts? Sure, the team stinks, but you know why they have one of the best broadcasts in the entire country?
Why is that?
Because of our engineering team. You know, those guys, boy, they sure put in the effort, and they're just outstanding.
They did an awesome job at Radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks. Anyway, back to the point.
Biden.
You wouldn't let the guy live on his own, much less run a country. Why is this okay?
So people were asked, do you think Joe Biden is showing to be too old to be president, or do you think he's showing to be fit to be president? Well, no, majority of people, 72% said, no, he's too old.
Well, too old would be one of them. Too feeble. Too not knowing where he's at. Kevin, we have this, and this is going to be hard for me to do, but it'll fit in here in the, where is this audio of Biden that we have of him saying that he's been to Iraq. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, 9:45. It's in the 9:45 segment. We're clearly way off our template here today, but we have the audio of Biden claiming that he's been to Iraq and Afghanistan.
Right. He said he's been there twice as president.
When in reality, he's never been to either one. Do we have that audio? Okay, take a listen. I can't hear it.
And, I think that there's I've been in and out, not as obviously combatant, but in and out of Afghanistan, Iraq, and these areas 38, 39 times. Not as president, only twice as president, but from the time I was a senator, but particularly when I was vice president.
Okay, so if you've been to Afghanistan or Iraq, you'd probably remember that, right?
It's not like, have you been to Reelsville, Indiana? I don't know. Maybe I went through Reelsville. Have you been to New Harmony, Indiana? I don't know. Maybe I passed through there once. You'd think you would know if you'd been to Iraq or Afghanistan, especially since your choices let the country fall apart and got 13 Americans killed in the case of Afghanistan.
Yeah, he said he's been there twice as president, which he hasn't. You know how many times he's been to the southern border?
0.
Yeah, that's correct. It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. Good morning.
If you run a small business, you need the most from every investment. That's why Comcast Business gives you more. Like more innovation with our new gig speed Wi-Fi, plus unlimited data. More speed from the largest, fastest, reliable network for small businesses. And more savings, up to 60% a year with Comcast Business Mobile. All from the company that powers more businesses than any other provider. When you need more, you need Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with internet and advanced security for just $40 per month for 12 months with no annual contract when you add mobile. Plus, ask how to get a $750 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Ends 1/1/2023. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary. Compare pricing of top carriers. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. Comcast Business Internet required. New Comcast Business 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment taxes and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep services for 12 months for discount. Results vary. Not an endorsement.
Hey, good morning. It's Casey, and I'd like to share with you some reviews from Galaxy Concrete Coatings of Indianapolis. Deb said, wanted to say what a beautiful and awesome job Tyler and Jake did in our garage and backyard patio. I can't even say how impressed we were with their workmanship and friendliness of both of them. The garage is amazing, and the backyard patio will be a great addition to the house. Trust Galaxy. They're amazing. And Deb made a good point. You can trust them. Galaxy Concrete Coating, 317-751-9070. Find them online, get a free quote. It's not as expensive as you may think. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your one and only spot for Christmas and holiday gifts this year, and I shop at PA Jewelers. Jewelry for my wife, watches for my wrist, that's what I get from PA Jewelers. They have an incredible selection of one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, specialty pieces. Visit PA Jewelers today to get your Christmas shopping done today. More than a kiss, visit PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. PA Jewelers is worth the trip. 317-858-3030 or online at premierarms.com.
Food insecurity issues are at the center of many families' conversations. Nearly 800,000 Hoosiers and 1 in 6 children go hungry each night. Indiana's pig farmers are committed to giving back to their communities by donating millions of pounds of pork to local food banks, church pantries, and feeding programs. Pig farmers are committed to raising a safe, nutritious product that's available to the tables of families in Indiana communities. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What's in the spending bill? It's cloudy and 31 degrees downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Nearly $2 trillion is what lawmakers in Washington want to spend in the next year. Fox's Jared Halpern.
White House Budget Director Shalana Young says the omnibus bill brings both parties together to make progress on critical priorities. The $1.7 trillion measure funding the full federal government through September was released overnight and is expected to get votes this week. In addition to increasing defense spending and providing more aid to Ukraine, lawmakers are also using the bill to pass end-of-the-year legislation, like modernizing the Electoral Count Act, outlining the role of Congress to certify the presidential election. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Russia's president is admitting that things are extremely complicated, in his words. In some regions of Ukraine, they include occupied territories like Kherson. Vladimir Putin made the remarks in a statement marking a holiday for his nation's security workers. He said those workers will get modern weapons and equipment. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Mark Chester from Marshall Mechanical. On behalf of Eric Marshall and our whole team at Marshall Mechanical, we would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you have a home heating emergency during the holidays, please feel free to give us a call at 317-738-5940 or find us online at callthemarshallnow.com.
Marshall Mechanical is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Want to save 25 to 75% on your diamond? Come see Pierce Jewelers in Carmel before you spend your hard-earned money somewhere else. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers, certified electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Send an SOS to the world. I'll send an SOS to the world.
The House January 6th committee voted yesterday to recommend that the Justice Department pursue a batch of criminal charges against Donald Trump for his role in the January 6th events. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. You doing okay now?
I'm fine. Ken and staff from the engineering department rushed in here, and they told me they will not be able to get to it until noon because I think it's a thing that involves dismantling stuff. So it's fine. I can hear out of one ear, which is okay. As Nathan Hale famously said, my only regret is I have but one life to give for my country. So in this case, my only regret is I have but one life to give for my radio show. So as long as your thing is fine,
I can hear perfectly.
Kevin and I will suffer.
You guys are working at 50%, huh?
We did not have the voicemails queued up, though, because we weren't sure they were in here doing things. So we're going to probably get to voicemails next hour.
Okay.
But there's a lot of pressing news to get to.
Yeah, we could talk about that, like about the House committee saying that they're going to send the DOJ a batch of criminal charges against Donald Trump. Okay, so these are just referrals.
Yes.
And it doesn't necessarily mean anything is going to happen. That will be up to the DOJ to decide.
It's like when your regular doctor refers you, say, to like a dermatologist. It's an insurance thing. You got to get the referral. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. The doctor is just saying somebody else really needs to take a look at this. Now, obviously, these clowns desperately want this guy to be tried, convicted, drawn, quartered, whatever, because they are total lunatics. But it will be interesting, seeing as how Garland, the Attorney General, Merrick Garland, has already given up essentially the right to prosecute, saying he can't be fair, to a special prosecutor, basically.
Who was supposed to be unbiased.
Yeah, even though his wife is a giganto-Democrat, right? And he's probably just doesn't care about politics at all. Probably his wife is a gigantic Democrat donor and filmmaker, and he's probably just a straight arrow there, probably super fair. He'll get to decide based on this.
Okay, so Trump was the first president in history to be impeached twice. Now he's also the first president to be formally referred by Congress for potential prosecution. This was a 154-page executive summary, and they said that he was unlawful and it was premeditated. You know who that sounds like talking? That sounds like Liz Cheney.
Yes, so we actually have some audio of Liz Cheney. Now, I would like to point out, and you look, you know me, Casey, I'm a total team player here, and I want what's best for the country, but I would like to point out that there is probably something, I don't know, a little hypocritical about a woman who cheerleaded her corrupt, horrible father as he pushed and adopted public policy that got tens of thousands of innocent American men and women killed, maimed, permanently mentally scarred. I don't know. If I were a person who had been cheerleading those sort of policies, I'm not sure I'd be sitting in judgment of anyone. But Liz Cheney, well, not going to let that stop her because Donald Trump, well, he's really bad.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office. The committee recognizes that our work has only begun. It's only the initial step in addressing President Trump's effort to remain in office illegally. Prosecutors are considering the implications of the conduct that we describe in our report.
So she says that he's unfit for office. She also went on to say that among the most shameful findings was that he was watching TV on January 6th.
Is that illegal? Is that now illegal to watch television?
It's shameful, according to Liz Cheney.
Yes.
But remember the tweet that Donald Trump did send out where he said, I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful, no violence. Remember, we're the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you.
Yes, I remember that.
They didn't.
Now I can see it again since Elon Musk let him back on Twitter.
Right. They didn't mention that in the findings.
By the way, has Mike Pence answered the question yet whether he thinks Joe Biden got 81 million legal votes? Has he answered that question?
Has he been asked?
If you believe there were enough illegal votes cast in states to alter the outcome of the election, then it is Mike Pence who did not do his job in terms of him certifying an election in which he believes that there were enough fraudulent or illegal votes cast that would alter the outcome of the election. So we get focused on Trump a lot. I'd really like to know, because Mike Pence was ultimately the guy in charge that day, what he thinks, and he just hasn't really answered that question yet.
Well, the ultimate goal of this committee and Liz Cheney is to keep Donald Trump from running again. And that's the whole point. She said he should never be able to serve again.
Sure, absolutely, 100%. And we've said this on the show many times, that the best thing for the Republican Party would be to move on from Donald Trump, but not because of this, because Donald Trump didn't do anything wrong on January 6th. He held a rally, which he's allowed to do. He spoke peacefully, which he's allowed to do. When some people behaved irresponsibly, he told those people everyone to go home and to disperse. He was not at the front of the crowd with a bayonet yelling charge. And by the way, we've gone to the ends of the earth on this January 6th thing, and we have done nothing. We've not lifted a damn finger for what happened in Portland with Eric Holcomb's close personal friend Malik Muhammad, Seattle, Chicago, New York, Indianapolis. Nothing. And far more people died. There was far more damage, far more destruction, far more businesses, whatever, in all of those cities than there were in the Capitol on January 6th. And not a finger from these people, because they don't actually care about you or making this country better.
Okay, so the DOJ has a lot on their hands right now. They don't have to take up the referrals. But Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary, says that January 6th was the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War.
We've been very clear from the beginning that what we saw on January 6th was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. And the president has been very clear. Our democracy continues and remains under threat.
The only person who died on January 6th was a protester who was assassinated, Ashley Babbitt. It's the only person who died on January 6th because of January 6th. There were no police officers killed, unlike in, say, Missouri, David Dorn, ring a bell to anyone? Unlike, say, Portland, where Eric Holcomb's good, close personal friend, very noble Malik Muhammad, who he let write the police reform bill, is now, sitting in jail for 10 years for throwing Molotov cocktails at police officers. That didn't happen on January 6th. Far more destruction happened in, pick your favorite major metropolitan city, any of them, and you will find more death, destruction, loss of life, calamity that happened in all these places night after night after night after night, and they don't care at all.
No.
The idea that you would say that this is like in any way, shape, form, or fashion comparative to the Civil War, in which it was so dangerous that Capitol Security was opening doors for people going right this way. I mean, there's photographs of it. It's all over. There's video of it. They told the people, come on in, right this way. Why are you a bad guy for obeying Capitol Security? right this way. Step on up. What would you do?
Yeah, that was the worst attack on our democracy since the Civil War. Did she forget about 9/11? How about Pearl Harbor?
The people who broke the law on January 6th should be and have been, clearly. They've dug and dug and dug and dug to the ends of the earth. They know everybody that was there. Remember that poor lady who ran for school board in Avon, who didn't do anything wrong, was never tried, was never charged, was never investigated.
Just in the vicinity.
She was 400 yards away from the Capitol, and they made it out in that Avon school board race like she had a pitchfork and a lantern and was kicking over Nancy Pelosi's desk. They know every person that was there. Every person has been thoroughly investigated. And unlike in Indianapolis, where Malik Muhammad got a free pass from Eric Holcomb to go to Portland and try to kill cops, those people have been dealt with who broke the law as they should have been. This is all wholly ridiculous because the Democrats and Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger are pathetic people.
I'm curious as to what else they're going to try and do to Trump. I mean, is he going to get a library still? Will he retain his diplomatic passport? Is he still going to get lifetime health insurance? Is he still going to have a driver and a security? Will he be allowed to have a state funeral when that day comes?
All right. When we come back, Hammer's going to join us via phone because he's done work. He's also done working for the year. And I have some very important questions to ask Jason Hammer.
All right. We'll get to it. Coming up from 93 WIBC.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel show, the growing split in the Republican Party over Donald Trump. What exactly is going on? That's at 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
If you're struggling with weight and frustrated with dieting each and every year, Mark Patrick Seminars can help.
After this hypnosis, I want to eat good food.
Since August, I can honestly say I have not had one potato chip.
It was life-changing for me.
And I don't think about desserts like I used to.
Bridget, how much have you lost now?
I lost a total of 83 pounds.
Holy cow.
It's easy, it's fun, very relaxing, and very successful.
And I would just say go for it.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed for only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late night eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. Seminars are Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, Noblesville. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Or Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn, Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 30 minutes before the event. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com.
There's only one you, and you only have one heart. That's why Franciscan Health is here with the highest level of heart care that's personal, compassionate, and sensitive to your needs. Known for embracing innovative technology and advancements in care, our nationally recognized heart team is committed to helping you protect the only heart you've got. To schedule your appointment with a heart care expert or to get a second opinion, visit franciscanhealth.org/heartcare.
This week on RVER, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Hey, Chief, we got a damaged RV on its way to the OR.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of RV surgery.
Wait, are you promoting me?
Congrats, Martinez.
Doctor, that RV's flatlining.
Well, that sounds like a job for the new head of nursing.
So you're just promoting everyone now?
Yeah, kind of looks that way, doesn't it?
When your RV really needs saving, Progressive has you covered. See if you could save with a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Planning for retirement all comes down to what matters most for you. Is it a vacation home? Is it traveling the globe? You could call the team at Howard Bailey Financial to help you plan for your retirement and to help you have a successful and fulfilling retirement. Great things in business are never done by one person. They're done by a team of people, and I'm excited to share that Singer Financial is now Howard Bailey Financial, an Indiana-based retirement planning firm.
The Howard Bailey team possesses credibility at both an ethical and professional standpoint. They will deliver you a customized framework that allows you to create the meaning of retirement. Whatever you visualize retirement to be, let the Howard Bailey team customize a plan specifically for you. If you're ready for your best retirement, Come forward and see the Howard Bailey difference.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's heater can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to keep your heater running right. Whether you've got a furnace, heat pump, boiler, or any other type of heating system, a proactive tune-up can help keep you comfortable. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com. We won't leave you waiting. Sing it with me.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime. Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Do you struggle with occasional nerve aches in your hands or feet? Try Nervive Nerve Relief from the world's #1 nerve care company. Nervive tablets contain alpha-lipoic acid to relieve nerve aches, weakness, and discomfort, plus B-complex vitamins to support healthy nerve function as you age. Live life with less nerve discomfort with Nervive Nerve Relief. Learn more at nervivehealth.com. And try Nervive Pain Relieving Cream to block nerve pain signals at the source. Use as directed.
The latest local news, commentary from Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey,
5.6%
Hammer and Nigel,
Biden.
podcasts. Listen to the station live, whenever, wherever. Online at WIBC.com.
The season's upon us, it's that time of year. Brandy and eggnog, there's plenty to share. There's lights on the trees and there's a wreath to be hung.
What in the world is this?
That's what I don't know.
It's Dropkick Murphys.
Dropkick Murphys, there we go.
Sure.
Shipping off to Boston.
Speaking of a guy like a drop kick, Jason Hammer.
He's on the phone. It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC at 1047.
Hammer, you told me something yesterday that just totally blew me away, and I don't believe it's true. I don't understand how in the modern era of streaming and reruns and everything, this could be a thing, but it is. You told me you have never seen an episode of The Office.
That is correct. I have not seen an episode of the English version or the British version, whatever you want to call it. Neither one. Mm-hmm. I have never sat through one full episode of The Office.
Why? Why aren't you? I mean, it's a show that it's not like some obscure show that 7 people watched and had a cult following. It is a huge show. It lives on in various forms of syndication. Aren't you remotely curious to go, maybe I would really like this show?
I have nothing against The Office. I haven't, boycotted it. It's not like I'm not watching it on purpose. It's just for me to invest my valuable time, Rob, in a program. I just don't know if I can make that kind of commitment right now. Because when it first came on the air, you got to think about where I was at in my life and the debaucherous things that I was doing. There was no time for The Office. And now in syndication, I'm so set in my ways that if I'm turning on a show for background noise or to go to sleep on or whatever, I've got my programs. So I haven't got around to it. I'm not against it, but 1, I don't have the time, and 2, it sounds like a lot of work.
9 seasons. That would be quite a commitment.
Well, it would, but it's also, you can really only watch we were talking about this during the break. You can really watch the first 5, and then you're not really missing much after that.
Because it jumped the shark.
It's just something you had to do after season 5 if you had already invested the time. That just blew me away. Now, is your wife the same way? Has she ever seen it?
She may have seen a couple episodes, but it's not a go-to in our house. Now, this may come as a surprise to you. The TV viewing habits of the coupon lady and myself are vastly different.
Not the same.
Not the same. If she's turning on a background show, like if she's just going to sleep and she's got the TV on, because we're people that go to sleep with the TV on, with a million fans going, but that's a different story. She will have like the Golden Girls or the Big Bang Theory on. Those are her go-to shows for when she goes to sleep. I, on the other hand, I usually go to sleep watching some late West Coast sporting event that I've got some degenerate money riding on.
you and I had a conversation with Nigel. He was still awake in our text thread the other night. And
It was 6:30 p.m. We were surprised.
There was one the other day where it dawned on me after about 3 hours that maybe it was the Colts game. I think it was during the Colts game. You and I had been texting for like 3 straight hours, and Nigel had not responded to absolutely anything. How did this go? Nigel posted a photo with Brent Waltz, who used to be a former Indiana State senator. They were doing some charity event, and this was from like 2013. And Nigel asked me, he said, well, Rob, whatever happened to this guy? And I said, well, I think he's currently in federal prison. And Nigel laughed about it. And I said, no, I think the guy is in federal prison because he had an issue with accepting, I think what they said were illegal straw donations from casino executives. And ultimately, I think he pled guilty and is in federal prison. And this sparked...
You mean the casino executives were not forthright guys, Rob? I'm shocked.
And so, and I think it's federal prison. I don't think it's state prison. Anyway, and I think he's still there. He got like a 6-month sentence, and it's, a fairly low, profile deal. I don't think he's in there with, the cast of Oz or whatever. But you and I got on a conversation with Nige about how many felons have you had your photo taken with? And you, I believe, have had your photo taken with 2 felons.
Right. Now, the first one is absolutely 100%. We had to do research on a couple of these guys, and this is kind of where our text threads go down the rabbit hole here. I have my photo with at least 2 felons.
Now, this is before they were felons, right?
Well,
no. You're one of those felons has been a felon for a long time when you got a photo with him.
Oh.
Well, that's true. So the first one is Pete Rose. I got a photo with Pete Rose out in Vegas a couple years ago because Pete Rose is always in Vegas because he 100% totally did not bet on baseball. It was at the Mandalay Bay, and he signs autographs all the time. And I had a good day before. I had some winnings on me, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to pay Pete $100 to sign a baseball, take a picture with me. That's fine. He's brought me a lot of joy in my life as a baseball fan, and God bless him. I think Pete needs $100.
Did he sign your ball? I'm sorry, I bet on baseball.
No. He just signed it. Pete Rose. He wrote down the number of hits that he had, and that was it.
Because there used to be a time where you could pay him a premium, and he would write, "I'm sorry, I bet on baseball" on your photo or whatever you had him sign. But I guess he may not need the money that bad anymore.
No, he just signed his name. He wrote the number of hits, and I sat there and talked to him for like 5 minutes. There wasn't many people, in line. Talked about Indianapolis, and he doesn't like 465 in Indianapolis because he thinks it's just a big circle that you can never get off of.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you know why he knows about Indianapolis is because his brother lives over here, and for years his brother, I think Dave, for some reason I think his name was Dave, worked at the Pit Stop restaurant in Brownsburg and used to spoon the scrambled eggs at the breakfast buffet on weekend mornings at the Pit Stop in Brownsburg.
And that's who Rob has his picture with.
Anyway, yes, and you had another felon that you were photographed with.
Yeah, so the second one's way more gross. This was down at the Super Bowl. It was the second Super Bowl the Colts went to, the one where they played the Saints, the one where they lost. Subway was having a big, a sponsor party, and I was at the Subway party, and I got a photo with Jared Fogle.
So if
I ever run for public office, damn well that's going to be the photo that they use out there in all the negative campaign.
And by the way, Casey, you'll love this. So Hammer, when he told us, I've had my photo, because I don't think Hammer had realized Rose had been convicted of a felony. So initially he said, yeah, I've had my photo with one felon. Can you guys guess? Want to guess who Nigel threw out there? O.J. Simpson.
Oh, jeez.
Well, there's a reason, because I've been in the same place as O.J. I just didn't get a picture. When we went to Aruba a number of years ago, the juice was down there, having breakfast and hanging out, and just an array of hot, young, white chicks wanting to get a picture with O.J.
No way.
Totally.
People want to get their photo with O.J. Simpson?
Oh, dude, you would have thought that, Justin Timberlake was sitting down for breakfast.
I'm curious about the
Jared. O.J. in Aruba is like George Clooney here.
I'm curious about the Jared photo. Was that your idea or his idea?
Well, I mean, it was, I think, everybody's. Like, he was taking sponsor pictures with everybody. And I was working at a different radio station at the time. And they were like, hey, why don't you guys get in a picture with Jared? All right, fine. We got a picture, waving. They're holding up the sign that says whatever Subway's ad campaign is at the time. But yeah, that picture lives on.
Now, I'm confused on whether I've ever had my photo with the felon, because we still haven't gotten clarification. I got my photo with Jake the Snake Roberts when he was in studio with you guys. I think I was filling in that day for Nigel. Imagine that. Nigel wasn't at work. And but while he's had serious accusations, and I think he's even pled guilty maybe to some stuff, I've not been able to find anything that said these were felonies, Hammer. So I don't know if indeed I've had a photo. So if someone is a Jake the Snake Roberts fan, if they could clarify if indeed there has been a felony conviction, let me know. Or otherwise, I think I'm out. I don't think I ever have.
No pics, huh?
He's had some major cocaine-like things.
Yeah.
So I would have to think that that's got to be a felony. But you're right. I've tried looking up everything, using all the resources. We can't get a definitive answer if it was enough coke to warrant a felony.
So if somebody is a Jake the Snake fan and can clarify to us whether he's actually been convicted of a felony, otherwise I think I'm felon photo free.
Now, Hammer and I have both met the same felon, but I didn't have my picture taken with him.
Pete Rose or Jake or
Jared from Subway.
From Subway, yeah.
Yeah, did an interview with him and he tried to steal my phone.
Hammer, enjoy your time off.
Thank you very much.
Have a good one. It's the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Hi, this is Danny Reinhardt from Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. From everyone in our family, Kevin, Kim, Corey, Stumpy, Brian, and Morgan, we would like to wish your family a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and please enjoy the holidays. If you do have any emergency services, don't forget to call us at 317-745-4526.
If you're out in Hendricks County, the family to call is Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
The holidays are a time to celebrate our favorite traditions with family and friends, like enjoying a honey-baked ham, always slow-smoked with their special blend of hardwood chips, spiral sliced for easy serving, then fire-glazed right in the store to create that sweet, crunchy finish they're famous for. It's why 4 generations of families have made honey-baked ham the centerpiece of their holiday dinners since 1957. Taste the tradition with 2 Central Indiana locations, West 96th Street in Indy and East Greyhound Pass in Carmel.
Updated COVID vaccines are here, just in time for the season that brings us all closer. Just in time for added protection against the original COVID virus and Omicron. Just in time for crowded stores and great big family dinners. Updated COVID protection is here. And if you haven't had a vaccine since September, it's time to give yourself the gift of updated protection. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
At Landmark Recovery, we know that living life in addiction is lonely. Get help with your addiction and reconnect with who you really are and those who care about you most. Bring happy back to your holidays. Call 866-LANDMARK today.
Pierce Jewelers has a spectacular array of diamond earrings, diamond pendants, diamond rings, and diamond bracelets. They shop the world to bring you the very best. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Coming up in 2 minutes, tracking winter weather, one thing that is for certain from forecasters. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
They got a jolt while they slept. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. An earthquake at 2:30 a.m. in Northern California.
This happened about 7.5 miles southwest of Ferndale. That is a coastal community near the Oregon border.
Fox's Claudia Cowan says it was a magnitude 6.4.
Emergency officials say 2 injuries have been confirmed, and reports are flooding in of widespread damage to roads and to homes. And some residents have taken to social media to show the mess inside their homes. Pictures and books fell off, tables overturned. More than 70,000 customers had lost power. That's about 70% of the homes and businesses in that area.
It's snowing in the Northwest, in the Seattle area, and that storm will move next to areas where wind chills are now well below freezing.
A weather nightmare. This Arctic blast could not just ruin the holidays for millions of Americans. We're talking blizzard conditions in some areas of the plains.
Fox Weather's Nicole Valdez says it'll snow also to New England, and there'll be heavy rain and wind Thursday and Friday along the East Coast. She's at Nashville's airport and says big cancellations loom, so airlines are encouraging travelers
to change their flights at no cost. They're offering them options to either book their same flight for a different day, a different time, or potentially to a different airport near their destination.
The Supreme Court is waiting for a Justice Department response today after temporarily blocking tomorrow's end of the Title 42 COVID policy that Republican-led states sued to keep in place, fearing an even bigger surge of migrants coming here illegally. That policy blocked some from entering the U.S. At the Senate,
I have good news. With days left before Christmas, Democrats and Republicans have reached an omnibus agreement completed at 1:15 a.m. early this morning.
Democratic Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, it's a $1.7 trillion bill to fund the government the rest of the fiscal year. Some Republicans only wanted short-term spending. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Don't say you weren't warned. It's cloudy and 32 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. A winter storm watch will be out starting Thursday.
It's going to be dangerously cold. That's going to cause problems, obviously, for anybody that's exposed to the cold. And then on top of that, obviously, we have the precipitation we need to be concerned about as well.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says wind gusts could reach 40 miles an hour Thursday and Friday in some places. Could also get several inches of snow by early Saturday morning. A woman who initially survived a double shooting Monday afternoon has died. Indy Metro Police saying this morning that the woman died at the hospital after she and another person were shot near West Washington and 465 on the west side. No suspects yet to speak of. Narcan is what can save someone who is overdosing on drugs. This week, the state's first Narcan vending machine is now open in Kokomo.
I find it very sad that we have that need, that it is a need. That's the world we live in today.
Tammy Stucker, a Kokomo resident on Wish TV, whose son was saved by Narcan a few years ago. The free machine is the first of 19 others that'll be popping up around Indiana in the coming months. 4 Muncie residents are facing federal charges of being involved in a drug ring. Jamar Hill, Terry Hill, Lance McGee, and Sarah Barnes are all charged with conspiracy and trying to deal fentanyl, cocaine, and meth. Barnes is said to have traveled to and from Indiana to San Diego several times from May to late October to bring large quantities of the drugs back to Indiana. Jamar Hill is then accused of giving the drugs to his father Terry and to McGee, who would then sell it in Muncie. The 18th-ranked Indiana Hoosiers will try and bounce back from 2 straight defeats when they face Elon tonight. One thing that IU men's basketball coach Mike Woodson doesn't want the team to do is turn the ball over. They had 23 against Kansas.
That's something we got to clean up because we're not a big turnover team. You know, we came in the game averaging, I think, about 12 turnovers a game, which is comfortable. So, I mean, we just got to regroup.
Tip-off tonight at 7, pregame coverage at 6, right here on 93 WIBC. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Available home inventory for sale is up and sales are slowing, but it is still a seller's market. You can sell your home for a great price with the right agent. That agent is Mark Dietl. Maybe you're worried because your home needs costly repairs or upgrades. With Mark Dietl, there are no required costly repairs. Pick your move date. Stay in your home after the sale stress-free while you close your dream home. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Listen to what Mike in Greenwood had to say about working with Mark Dietl. The kids were out of the house, so we were ready to downsize. We were worried we missed the boat on a big price, but after meeting with Mark Dietl, we had confidence he could get the price we needed. He did it. Mark was relentless and closed a deal in weeks at a great price. We are moving on with the money in the bank thanks to Mark Dietl. Call the agent I trust and recommend for the details. Mark Dietl guarantees an offer in 3 days for full market value or it's listed for free. Call Mark Dietl at 317-755-4232 or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, Dietel.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's lab-grown or mined diamond store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, December 20th. It is 6 minutes after 11. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. So Congress is set to vote on a 4,155-page, $1.7 trillion government funding bill within the next couple of days. Okay, so this is a huge package, and it seems that they're trying to rush this right on through before winter break. And let's try and break it down. The package includes $858 billion in defense funding. That's a 10% increase.
Oh.
We've got $40 billion for Ukraine aid.
Oh.
Higher than what the White House expected or requested last month.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also in this is a TikTok ban.
Oh.
That's not costing us any more money. There's an Electoral Count Act reform in it. Disaster relief. Bill includes $40 billion in funding to assist communities across the country recovering from drought, hurricanes, flooding, wildfire, and natural disasters.
Okay, I don't mean to cut you off, but let's just cut to the meat and potatoes on this. Yeah. This bill is 4,155 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Casey, you couldn't read 4,155 pages if you just sat down. I guess theoretically, if you said for 24 hours straight, I'm just going to read, and you read a page a minute. What? I mean, let's see. Let me do some math here. I'm a product of the public education system. So let's say you could read and so I mean, we're telling the impossible here. There's no way you could read and understand. Trust me, as someone who used to read and attempt to understand government documents, there's no way you could read and understand it. But let's just pretend that you could read and fully digest. All right, so 60 pages a minute times 24 hours is 1,440. So 4,155 divided by 1,440 would mean if you read nonstop and never slept for 2.88 days, you could conceivably read
this whole document.
Yeah. And I'm gonna guarantee you they'll vote on it before Christmas.
Well, that's the plan.
Nobody reads anything. They have no idea what's in any of this, and the Republicans are going to give it to them. This is what people need to realize. Why am I the way I am to the Republicans? Because they have all the leverage right now. The Republicans are about to inherit the lower chamber, the chamber that controls the money. All they have to do, Casey, is play four corners defense in the Senate. Even if you're going to say we're going to pass another week-long spending bill, which is egregious in and of itself, but even if you go along with that, beginning the first, middle of January, when everybody's sworn in, you guys control everything. You can cut spending, which you say you want to do. You can get inflation under control, which you say you want to do. You can do all the things because you control the money. And if Biden wants to keep the federal government open, then he has to go along with you. You now become an intimate part of the equation. But the Republicans are proving once again that they do not actually care about inflation. They do not care about the national debt. They do not care about government accountability. They do not care about government spending. They don't even care about reading because there's no way any of them are getting remotely close to reading this. This is why I'm totally done with 99.5% of these people not named Ron DeSantis because they're all losers and they're all zeros.
How many pages a minute did you say? 60 pages a minute?
I'm saying if you did 1 page a minute, so that's 60 pages an hour.
I can't even read this article.
No, you can't. Nobody can. I mean, think about on one hand, you can count Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, maybe Ted Cruz, maybe Mike Lee, maybe Josh Hawley. And what? I guarantee Todd Young's going to roll over and play dead for this because there's no way Mitch McConnell's made the deal. It's 50-50. He's got to get 10 Republicans to vote for this. There's no way without Republican support they could pass this. They're not trying to do it through reconciliation. The Republicans aren't fighting on anything. I guarantee you Todd Young, and why wouldn't he? Because he votes for all these continuing spending bills. This is the point. I'm done with these people. I've been done with them. I hope you people who voted for Todd Young and these Republicans in the Congress are finally, at some point, will you finally wake up? There is no difference between these two parties. There's Absolutely none. There are a minute amount of people in elected office in the Republican Party who are different, but the parties as a collective, no difference. Totally done with them. Sit in your stew and enjoy your inflation.
It's 10 minutes after 11 with the Kendall and Casey show on 93 WIBC. And let's talk about the Twitter files. They're offering more revelations on the company's suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story. It has prompted another reckoning for outlets who dismissed the story the first time. This time it is the FBI. Disturbing new files revealing how the ex-FBI officer turned Twitter lawyer held a secret one-on-one briefing with the Bureau before pushing the social media network to suppress the laptop story.
It's so convoluted, it's hard to even say, right? It's even hard to get the words out. So Jim Baker, not the famous Republican Jim Baker, longtime counsel to the Bushes and I think Reagan. And
the former FBI guy.
Yeah, different guy. Has signed a letter, and this is according to Daily Mail, thanking the FBI for convincing social media networks that the Hunter Biden laptop story was fake. And if he did it on Twitter, he didn't just stop there and go, oh, well, I convinced Twitter, thanks a lot. Facebook, Instagram, I mean, I know they're owned by the same people, but this was a concerted effort. And got to say, Casey, why wouldn't they? Because they keep getting away with it.
Okay, so Republican Mike Turner said that the FBI is now facing subpoenas, or they will. And Karine Jean-Pierre, of course, was asked about it. And do you think she had an answer? No, she didn't.
The latest Twitter files show that the intelligence community was actively involved in discrediting the Hunter Biden laptop story. Does it bother the president and those at the White House that a government agency like the FBI was involved in suppressing a legitimate news story?
Again, I'm just going to refer you to the FBI. I'm not going to comment from here about that.
No comment. Okay, so the Twitter files also revealed that the FBI paid Twitter over $3 million between October 2019 to early 21. So taxpayers paid Twitter via the FBI to suppress stories about...
What's the problem here? Is that wrong? Is that not what you would expect your government to be doing?
It is not. It's not. Elon Musk recently asked Twitter users if he should step down as the head of Twitter. This was in a new poll.
Did you vote?
I did vote, and I said no. Don't step down.
Yeah, I'm with you, although it looks like we lost.
I know. It was 57 to 42.
Here's the thing, though. There is no way that a billionaire and someone the intelligence and wealth of Elon Musk put that poll up not knowing what the results would be. And that's why he tweeted a few hours later something like, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So whether that is he's got a flood of new investors that will be Saudi money, or he's going to pick Donald Trump or whatever, clearly he knew what the results were going to be, which is why he asked the question, because he wants to get out of it, and he has someone totally ready to go in that position.
He's probably been on the search for his CEO replacement and then put the poll out.
Absolutely.
But I'm sure his investors at Tesla have grown tired of the Twitter chaos, and he's been distracted from being CEO of the car company, which is his main source of his income and his wealth.
Well, it is interesting, right? I mean, Twitter is really important what's going on there right now, and Elon Musk deserves a lot of praise for what he's done with Twitter so far. But if you are a person who has a whole bunch of money wrapped up in, let's say, your 401k or your retirement or whatever, aren't you mildly nervous that this guy has spent that much time on a side pet project?
Shiny new toy.
Which not only has he clearly then been distracted from the company that you're invested in, but also he is potentially alienating people from purchasing the product based on, we all know how liberals hold a grudge and won't shop with conservatives or whatever. So I could see where you would be a little nervous if you had large amounts of money wrapped up in Tesla, which is why, Casey, I don't do the stock market. You know who I wrap my money up in? Me.
In your mattress?
Because I only have myself in a backyard somewhere. Because I only have myself. stock market's just super risky because of stuff like this. I mean, think about the amount of money people who are in Tesla have lost over the past several months.
Okay, so shares of Tesla are down 35% since Musk took over Twitter on October 27th.
But it's really no different than Facebook. I mean, think about it. If you were in Facebook, you served at the whim of a madman child genius who comes up with this meta thing, which has been a colossal disaster. So even when it's not political, if you're invested in companies, your fortune rests on the decisions, especially in tech companies, of largely long-term, unproven entities that are often run by people who are both genius and madman at the same time.
Okay, quickly, let's talk about this. Harvey Weinstein was found guilty of rape.
Yeah.
It's his second sexual assault case. He's been found guilty on 3 of the 7 charges.
Is this the greatest fall in Hollywood history?
Him?
Yeah, I mean, where he was at, the power he had, and not so much even that, but at this stage of his life, right? Like, it wasn't like, oh, this playboy in his 20s or 30s, right? It was a guy who had been the king of the industry, or one of the kings of industry for decades, and this late in life, for him to have such a colossal topple and fall, I can't think of anybody that you could even compare it to.
Yeah, he'll be spending the autumn of his life behind bars.
Right.
What a polar opposite from where he was. He's right now serving a 23-year sentence already.
Yeah.
And more convictions are just coming in. So, yeah, you're probably right. One of the biggest falls from grace ever. It is 17 minutes after 11. This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Hopes are high for IU Hoops with one more run for Trace Jackson Davis and Race Thompson and Xavier Johnson, and promising newcomers like CJ Gunn and Jalen Hood-Schifino. And IU basketball lives here. Elon takes on IU in Bloomington tonight. Pre-game at 6, tip-off at 7. On your home for IU basketball, 93 WIBC.
Dell Technologies' Days of Deals for Business start now with fresh, limited quantity deals on tech to drive productivity. Save on select performance laptops and desktops powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything, and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed, only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with a symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
This guy's really hardcore, highly fanatical.
And Casey Daniels.
I love her!
On 93 WIBC.
Oh, with the waitress.
Yeah!
The way I
always do. How was I to know she was with the Russians too?
Oh! 20 minutes after 11 with the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
My goal is to put a smile on Kevin's face at least twice a day.
Yeah, it brings a lot of joy to my life.
Yeah.
Keep going.
No, I think I've done enough. I think I've sung enough.
Okay. Hey, let's talk about Eric Holcomb.
You just go from something that brings me great joy to something that brings me great misery.
I teed it up just like that just to watch your face.
Think about the diversity, though, of the bumper music that we have on this show. Where else are you going to hear some real solid Warren Zevon and Bruce Springsteen deep cut in the same show? It feels like most talk radio shows, they've got a score of about 20 songs that they roll through. And Kevin's out here, Atlantic City, Lawyers, Guns, and Money.
Yeah.
Well, they work. They go with their playlist, and they stick to that. But I'm going with the musical diversity.
You mean the hits?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hits.
The hits.
But we're more cultured here.
Yeah, no, we're a higher brow show. Okay. And the one thing Kevin will do is he will play songs often that fit with the theme of what we're talking about.
He's taking it next level.
Yeah.
Lawyers, Guns, and Money's not the case with this story.
This is not a theme.
Well, he's taking all of our money.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always a theme for the Republican Party.
And he's always surrounded by lawyers.
Oh, yeah. What's Holcomb doing now? How is he making my life more difficult? What's going on?
He wants teachers to be paid more.
Oh, of course. Yeah, right. I have a question here. So he said teachers should be paid more. That's despite the fact that in the biennial budget, so roughly $19 billion of our state money goes to public education. That's not enough. Did he question, because you have the story in front of you, I don't have it in front of me, and I have no reason to doubt that he actually said this. Did he say anything about nurses?
Nope.
No pay increase for the nurses?
No.
What about cops?
No.
Nothing in there for cops. How about, I don't know. How about, doctors? Anything in there for doctors? No. Anything for plumbers? Carpenters?
No.
Radio broadcasters.
Especially no.
So he's very focused on the teachers getting more money.
And he wants to do it before he leaves office.
Oh, so this budget really, because you got to pass, this is the last budget that he will pass as the governor.
Yes. And they approved a $1.9 billion increase for K through 12 schools.
Now, I thought in the last, remember, you weren't here yet, but when they did the budget in this would have been 2020, they were throwing COVID money. The federal Todd Young, Duke of Spendingburg, and Schumer and Pelosi and McConnell were throwing money at states like it was going out of style. And like $2 billion came in at the end of that, and they took $1 billion and just said, here, catch to the teachers. I thought that was supposed to be for the teacher raises. I thought the referendums, like in places like Gannavon, were supposed to be for the teacher raises. How is it that the teachers, we keep spending more money, but it appears there's never enough money for teachers? And why is it the teachers are the only public servants we seem to care about making sure they get more money?
The administrators seem to be doing okay.
Well, okay, so this is what's interesting. I had a dear friend of mine who shall remain nameless, who actually works in state government, and I will not name this person for fear that they would be tarred, feathered, and excommunicated from the state government. Because here is the thing, and if you are a state employee and you don't speak out, well, then you need to speak out, right? And sometimes people speak out through me, and that's fine. But there's so many people who know how wholly ridiculous all of this is that we pander to one select group of people, right? How many people, whether you're a local street worker or a sanitation worker, a sewer, work for a sewer, municipal utility, like you have just terrible jobs? Nope. Nothing for you, but the teachers, didn't they just get a raise? They need more of a raise. And people look at that and say, you're pandering. It's like that Doden guy who running for governor. You had a year, and what was your big plan? No taxes for teachers. Right. Well, again, what about nurses? What about cops? What about firemen, firewomen? Like, what about, no, teachers.
Just teachers.
Because we fear the voting block, and that's why they do it. So this was an interesting study about the growth in staff in public education since 2000. And since 2000, I believe this is nationwide, we've seen an 88% increase in administrative cost and money in public education. Somebody who's never in a classroom in terms of teaching, somebody who's not working with the children. We're talking like your superintendents, your assistant superintendents, the staff affiliated with them, an 88% increase in administrative staff. Why isn't that money going to the teachers? 37% increase in principal and assistant principal compared to what is roughly an 8% increase in student population and in teacher pay. So the top of the food chain is getting all the money.
88% increase. Yeah.
There are superintendents in this state.
It's not equivalent to the amount of students.
There are superintendents in the state, Casey. There are many, in fact, who make over $200,000 a year, plus a car, plus a cell phone, plus all the benefits. Why? Why is somebody who's not in the classroom and multiple people who are not in the classroom making these six-figure salaries?
Holcomb says we're moving in the right direction. We're just not there yet. And we have the ability and the financial wherewithal to continue to make gains. He said the average teacher is almost at $57,000, and he wants to get them up to $60,000 before he leaves office. Actually, something he ran on, and now he's got limited time.
By the way, the statistics I read from you was for the National Center for Education Statistics. And this is what people need to realize. And I've said this for years, and this is how I've defeated referendums in the past. And I think it resonates with people. There will never be enough money. It is not a revenue problem. It is an allocation of resources problem. And when you have people at the top of the food chain making $200,000 a year or more, plus car, plus cell phone, plus bennies, plus retirement, that's not helping the kids. Not helping the kids at all. And we never hear, well, hey, maybe the superintendent should make take a 20% pay cut, and instead of $200,000 a year, make, I don't know, $160,000 a year. And why don't we divvy that up? That would give 40 teachers $1,000 each. Nope, never hear that. Why don't we see the assistant superintendents who are making, $150,000 a year? Why don't they take 20% pay cuts? $30,000. Boy, we just found $70,000. And I promise you, if you're making $160,000 a year, which is what the superintendent would be making, or if you're making $120,000 a year, which would be what the assistant superintendent would then be making, you're not needing to visit a soup kitchen to pay for your meals. You're not in the assisted housing program anywhere. But we don't do that because we in the state, and by we, I mean the state government, the Republicans, are totally petrified of uninformed, angry, red-shirted teachers who will go down there and scream at them at the behest of these overpaid superintendents and principals to do their bidding.
Okay, so he's a political operative, and I'm changing the subject here.
Okay.
Coming up next, political operative Mr. Stone.
No, coming up next, we got Abdul.
Oh, right, we do have Abdul, don't we? Oh, gosh, thank you for reminding me. But can we get to Roger Stone later in the hour?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I love Roger Stone.
Because this is a guy who says he knows who killed Kennedy. And we'll get to that coming up from 93 WIBC. Abdul is up next.
The world is always on. But you shouldn't be. Put junk sleep to bed. During Mattress Firm's Dreamcember sale, get a king for the price of a queen or a queen for a twin and save up to $700 on Sealy. Only at Mattress Firm.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today.
The share it with a friend deal. Even if that friend is yourself. Your McDonald's, your rules.
$3 meals? Sounds 3 times as tasty. Choose from a crispy 6-piece McNuggets or juicy double cheeseburger and add small fries, all for only $3. Add any size soft drink for $1. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Food insecurity issues are at the center of many families' conversations. Nearly 800,000 Hoosiers and 1 in 6 children go hungry each night. Indiana's pig farmers are committed to giving back to their communities by donating millions of pounds of pork to local food banks, church pantries, and feeding programs. Pig farmers are committed to raising a safe, nutritious product that's available to the tables of families in Indiana communities. Learn more at porkcares.org. Brought to you by Indiana's pig farmers. Express the heartwarming message of Christmas this year and give her a diamond engagement ring from Pierce Jewelers that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you can expect to move in later. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30.
We're still really concerned about the wind chills. When you combine the cold temperatures with the wind, that's probably going to be one of our biggest impacts with the system.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service says that temperatures will drop dramatically overnight Thursday into Friday morning. He says some portions of northern Indiana could also get as much as 6 inches of snow later this week. Stellantis is telling 276,000 people who own 2005 to 2010 model years Dodge Magnums, Chargers, and Challengers, along with Chrysler 300s, to not drive the cars. The warning is due to a third person dying in a crash as the result of an exploding Takata airbag. In total, 5 people have been killed driving or riding in one of those this year due to the airbag inflator. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC, it is the Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here, and Casey, oh, look who it is.
It's Abdul.
An author, a broadcaster, provocateur, the next mayor of the city of Indianapolis. Abdul Kibshabaz. How are you, my friend?
I don't know about all that, but thank you.
Well, you're welcome for the thanks for the kind introduction would have been more than enough. All right, so let's get to this poll. Casey and I talked about it earlier that came out on this U.S. Senate primary. Now, it came from a group called Bellwether Research, and you earlier today when we were taking State House Happenings made a very interesting point on who the Bellwether Research people are.
Yes, that is Christine Matthews, known her for years. She used to poll for Mitch Daniels a long time ago. Republican pollster, very credible, and just a good person overall.
Yeah, so that it will come into importance here in just a moment. But first, so they did 2 polls on the U.S. Senate race, and the first poll was without Mitch Daniels, and the second poll was with Mitch Daniels. Let's talk about without first, because you've said, and I think it's interesting, you said it doesn't matter what these polls say, you don't think Mitch Daniels is running for anything.
No, I don't.
Why?
First of all, why would he? Why run again for governor?
I don't know. Narcissism, power. I don't know. Pick a billion reasons.
Yeah, but that's not Mitch. I mean, he's got an ego. But then again, in politics, you got to have an ego.
Yeah.
But as far as being a narcissist, no, because I'm one, and he's never at the meetings. So no, I don't see him running for governor. Did it twice. I don't see him running for the U.S. Senate. Been to Washington D.C., worked in the White House. I don't. What's to be gained?
Yeah. Okay. So without Daniels in the race, which is where you think it is, Bellwether Research has Rokita as the leader at 16%, and then Banks at 14, Sparks at 13, and then Hollingsworth at 11, and then the rest are someone else or unsure.
The number one candidate is a guy named Unsure.
Well, okay.
Undecided.
Are you surprised that Rokita is at the top of this list? Because we keep hearing, well, Banks is probably getting in, and Sparks is probably getting in, and Hollingsworth is probably getting in.
Yeah, but Rokita being at the top of this list is like being valedictorian in summer school. It's like, what does it really mean at the end of the day? I mean, he's at 16%. What, Banks at 14, Victoria's at 12. What's the margin of error? 3%. So basically, it's a 3-way tie.
Yeah, well, and he's not. You say you don't think he's running. You think he's happy being, or at least he's content being Attorney General.
I would say I would say small C content.
Yeah, because he would totally run for this if he thought he had a very clear path to do it, right? It's not that he doesn't want to be a senator. Clearly, look at how he behaved when he ran for Senate the last time. He desperately wants to be a senator, but it's more of a thing where I've got this safe Attorney General seat. I'm not going to risk it running for U.S. Senate.
Or I can't run for anything else, so I'm going to say Attorney General.
Oh, was somebody else telling him he can't run for anything else?
Well, no, I think it's him. He actually, Todd Rokita does have some sense of political self-awareness. And like I mentioned in State House Happenings, back during session, I heard through the rumor mill that he said he wasn't going to run. He was going to run again for Attorney General because the job was just so important that he was the only one who could do it. And so I'm not going to run for a governor or U.S. Senate because those jobs aren't as important as Attorney General is.
He's needed.
Yes.
Yeah, he's needed. So now, Casey, in State House Happenings, I told Abdul, and Micah was with us this week on State House Happenings. that in 2023, my goal is to have more rich friends.
Oh, good.
I'm going to start hanging out with more super rich people because, look, I've been hanging out with you and Abdul for long enough, and it has garnered, look at what it's garnered me. And so with that in mind, I really like, and look, I've been very critical of Trey Hollingsworth over voting for the January 6th committee and using his family money to buy a public office. I'm done with that. I'd like to apologize to Trey, even though he did do all those things. In lieu of needing more really rich friends, I like Hollingsworth at 11% here because he's got infinite money. And when you got infinite money and you're within striking distance, that goes a long way. What say you, Abdul?
It doesn't hurt, let's put it that way. But also, too, once again, it is, with all the polls out right now, particularly for the governor's race, which is almost like 23 months from now, some change. It is like
This is just something for us to talk about.
Yeah, this is more like watching The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Just see who's going to get the rose this week. But it's just way too early to be saying who's ahead and who's behind. Particularly when you look at the U.S. Senate race with Mitch Daniels not in the picture, they're all basically tied.
If he passes out that money, he'll sway a lot of those unsures his way.
Yeah, money. There's nothing. Nothing convinces me like cash, Casey. Oh, you didn't mean buying votes. You meant like running TV ads and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other part of this poll from Bellwether Research, they included Mitch Daniels in the poll. And when Mitch Daniels is included in the poll for U.S. Senate, overwhelmingly the favorite, 32%, Banks at 10, Hollingsworth at 9, and then Sparks at 7, Rokita all the way down at 7 as well. Is the legacy of Mitch Daniels that strong? Is that it? Because, I mean, there's nothing he's done. He has not been in public office for 10 years?
He's been the head of Purdue.
Yeah, but that's not a public office. He's not cutting taxes. He's not, building infrastructure. He's not doing any of those things. I mean, that is the legacy, and the idea of Mitch Daniels is just that strong.
I would say yes. Also, too, keep in mind is Mitch Daniels has about, I would say in the Republican primary, as they say, has about 40% of the vote he sort of walks in with. Because once again, Dick Lugar, 40% when he lost to Richard Murdoch. Dan Coates, 40% when he won the Senate race back in 2010. So once again, there's that 39, 35, 40% number that's showing its head again. Take that out, then you get sort of everybody else out there.
Yeah. Does he not want to do it because he's done with politics? I mean, is that why you think? Because, I mean, this is like, and again, it's forever, but is it also a thing where politics has changed dramatically since the last time Mitch Daniels ran for public office? I mean, if Todd Rokita or Jim Banks or Victoria Sparks get into this, they're sharks, man. I mean, they're not just going to go, well, Mitch Daniels is in, I might as well just applaud and say good job and enjoy your Senate seat. And he doesn't want to go through the modern grind of politics.
I think Mitch Daniels could, and actually I think he'd do very well because Mitch Daniels is still the sharpest guy in the room. So that's kind of point number one. If anybody were to hit him, I'm sure he would hit back just 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Really?
Don't let Mitch Daniels' pleasant demeanor fool
no kidding.
Any way, shape.
Well, now I'm kind of rooting for him to win. I want to see let's see Mitch Daniels get mean and nasty.
Because remember, Mitch Daniels wrote the song "Won't You Come Home, Pat Bauer." When the Democrats fled to Illinois during the right to work,
yes.
Yeah, Mitch Daniels wrote the song "Won't You Come Home, Pat Bauer." Yeah.
Okay, Abdul's with us. We're talking about this Bellwether Research poll in regards to the governor's race, and there was a very high-ranking Mike Braun person who. Look, Casey, I got to give Braun's people credit. I've been rather mean to Mike Braun about his voting for all the Holcomb tax increases in the General Assembly, but they still correspond with me. They said their internals mirror this, and it shows Braun at 25, Rokita at 9, Crouch at 7, Hollingsworth at 6, and Doden at 3. Again, 40% unsure. If you're Suzanne Crouch, are you worried that you're that far behind Braun, or are you just saying, well, that's forever and I'll just wow people with my red glasses and my charisma?
I would say no, because number one, when the poll was conducted, I want to say Braun had already, the news was already out that Braun was going to run for governor.
Right, correct.
Suzanne, her name wasn't out there yet, so that's also part of the timing thing whenever you do polling.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, it's a beauty contest. It's sort of a starting point.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put...
Does Suzanne have to come up with a way to convince people like me that she's somehow not accountable for the Holcomb administration, or is she just going to bank on, well, screw that dude, and I'll find another couple of suckers somewhere else?
I say For you, that part would be true. For everybody else, it'd probably be a little different.
Is she going to try? I mean,
yeah, because we asked her, like, are you worried that your
you just interviewed her, right?
Yeah, on It's Up on Indy Politics. I was like, are you worried that your association with Governor Holcomb will hurt you in the Republican primary? She said, no, not really. She says she stands by, her decisions, her credentials, and the whole 9 yards. So I don't think
she doesn't think that. So if she's standing by Holcomb, she doesn't think that Holcomb's a liability in a Republican primary.
She thinks there'll be some pushback, yes, but she stands by her record.
Oh, well, that'll give me something to look forward to trying to prove a point then.
Is she standing by her record or is she standing by her resume? Because I know that she has said, I'm the most experienced here.
I would say both. Because she was a county auditor, county commissioner, state auditor, state rep.
Career politician, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but sometimes, and see, we'll have to talk about this sometime in January, because when people say, I don't want a professional politician, like, well, I don't want an amateur politician.
Why? I was an amateur, and look what a great job I did.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody ever cut more taxes or built more roads or reformed more government.
And you're still complaining about the government.
Well, yeah, because once I handed it back to the idiots in my town, look what they did with it. But it was great when I was running. Point is, though, you don't want new people in the system?
Well, I want new people in the system, but I don't necessarily think being an amateur politician it automatically qualifies you more than anybody else.
You're an amateur. You're running.
No, I'm not an amateur. I'm a professional.
You've never been a politician before?
Well, some people say I've been a politician all my life.
Oh, I see. By the way, real quick before I let you go, you haven't officially rolled out your exploratory committee yet, so I can't write you a check at this time, but how is your rollout been going since last week?
Activists going very well. I've had friends who, some on the far right, some on the far left, who would never ever agree on anything together. Yeah. Said, "Do we thought you running for mayor? Let us know what you decide to do."
All right, the only one and only Abdullah keeps you boss. Are you doing anything for the station this weekend? Are you helping?
It's Christmas weekend, so I'm doing the same thing that you are.
Yeah, it's a basketball, it's a football,
it's Christmas music.
There's always a whole bunch of reasons you can't have a show.
But I'll be back the next week.
Okay, great. All right, Merry Christmas. Well, I guess I won't talk. So Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Hey, you guys too.
It's the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on the Hammer and Nigel Show, the growing split in the Republican Party over Donald Trump. What exactly is going on? That's at 3 o'clock, 93 WIBC.
Hey, we're pretty social people at WIBC. You can find us all over social media. See what we're up to on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. We're never more than just away. Just search for 93 WIBC.
It's Rob Kendall for my incredible friends at Life Church. By now, most of you know friend of the show, Pastor Micah Beckwith. And most of you are aware, in addition to being a trusted conservative fighter, he's also part of the Life Church community that would love to welcome you and your family. They've got 4 campuses, including Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus online services. Learn more about Micah, Nathan, and the rest of Life Church by visiting their website at lifechurchin.com.
The holidays are a time to celebrate our favorite traditions with family and friends, like enjoying a honey-baked ham, always slow-smoked with their special blend of hardwood chips, spiral sliced for easy serving, then fire-glazed right in the store to create that sweet, crunchy finish they're famous for. It's why 4 generations of families have made honey-baked ham the centerpiece of their holiday dinners since 1957. Taste the tradition with 2 Central Indiana locations, West 96th Street in Indy and East Greyhound Pass in Carmel.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Dave Majing with B&W Plumbing and Heating. We all know Santa doesn't fix furnaces, but B&W Plumbing and Heating does. We're here to be sure you have a warm and enjoyable Christmas. Check us out at bigbblacktrucks.com or call us at 317-243-3581. That's 317-243-3581. And from our family to yours, Merry Christmas, everyone. And remember the reason for the season.
B&W is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture Mattress in Columbus. It's that time for our year-end inventory reduction sale. Save up to an extra 20% off the sale price on in-stock and floor samples from Smith Brothers of Bern, Lazy Boy, Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, and so much more. Special orders are on sale too with interest-free financing and extra discounts for cash. Sale is now through Christmas Eve only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight guaranteed, only $49.99. Also, stop smoking with Mark Patrick. This hypnosis is designed to destroy your desire to smoke without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Seminars Thursday, January 19th at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites in Noblesville. Weight loss 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking 8 p.m. And Saturday, January 21st at the Holiday Inn Indianapolis Airport. Weight loss 11 a.m. Stop smoking 2 p.m. Register at markpatrickseminars.com.
By listening to WIBC, you'll learn how to create a secure income plan that is sustainable throughout retirement from Crown Haven Wealth Advisors. Tune into WIBC this Sunday from 9 to 10 p.m.
There's a lot of sexy content on the internet. And there's WIBC, full of faces meant for radio. Hammer and Nigel, Kendall and Casey. Okay, Casey could be on TV. Now streaming every day on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/WIBC.
Just see those sleigh bells jingling, ring, tingle, tingling too. Come on, it's lovely weather for a sleigh ride together with you.
Good morning. It is 11:45. This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. So you're going to take Kevin out tomorrow for dinner after the show, and you're buying?
Well, dinner's a strong word. I mean, dinner implies like you
dinner, and it's not just me; it's also Allison.
Yeah, Allison's going too. It's a Christmas dinner to say thank you to our producers who have worked so hard for the year. I, of course, took you out to dinner with Kevin a couple weeks ago, in which you spent 93 minutes to order a glass of wine. Which one of these has the most amount of grape content in it?
And she was asking if it was Old World wine or New World.
You guys...
And this
very
poor,
strange.
And this poor waitress is like,
none of this is true, by the way. None of
wine.
this.
It's a wine at a sports bar
She even did that
downtown
thing,
Indianapolis.
Yeah, she did that thing where she like spins the wine glass around.
You guys are painting me to be a real pretentious jerk, and
No,
that's not how it happened at all.
You're cultured. You did seem like the sort of person who would witness a potential crime scene and not call the police for 12 hours, as we discussed earlier in the program. So no, it'll be the last mentor session of the year with Kevin, because I will be out for the remainder of the year. And
But you said you're taking Allison too?
Yeah, I felt Allison needs a little mentoring.
I don't know if that's.
She wanted to come.
Okay, well, she can go for the food. I don't know about the mentoring. I don't know if that's appropriate for her to be mentored from you.
Why?
What about just career advice?
Yeah, exactly.
Or something like that.
I mean, I would mentor Allison differently than I would Kevin. But she, look, this has become a big thing around this station, our little mentorship program. You've had the joy of experiencing it in person with a $91 bottle of a glass of wine at your fingertips.
It's like $6, but whatever. Are you going to start charging? You should. This could be a side hustle for you.
Well, we play the guy that's got the smoking seminars on the station. We should have the Rob Kendall mentorship seminars.
Life advice.
By the way,
and other ramblings.
I was gone a half a week. Did we ever get an answer on our old boy that works down the hall from us?
Okay, you're talking about the date?
Yes.
Where the guy took the girl on the date and took her shopping on date one. I haven't seen him since we've talked about
I actually
this.
did talk to him briefly. He said that she is his girlfriend now.
No, she did not. You stop.
That's what he said.
No, you stop.
I said, go talk to him.
You stop. Is he here today?
I think he's probably around here, moseying around.
There's no way.
It worked. It worked.
That is not a...
Well,
Casey.
and I also learned that he also kind of knew her previously.
Yeah, but that's not a week is not a girlfriend. That's not a girlfriend. There's...
Yeah, that moved very quickly.
Does she know that she's considered his girlfriend? This is
the girl who wasn't tagged in the photo.
Yes. So if you're new to the program, we have somebody who works in our building, a young person who I have not taken out to mentor, but I clearly need to take out to mentor.
He needs to be on the list.
But he is a big fan of what we do, and so I was talking to him, and I said, "What's going on? What's happening in your existence?" And he said he was taking this girl out, and again, not that I notice appearances, but it was very clear that there was a theory of two appearance violation going on here. And as a mentor, it gave me great concern about what could be happening. So I said, well, where are you taking this girl? And he said, I'm taking her shopping. And then it turned out he was going to spend $100 on her, plus buy her dinner and whatever else.
Yeah, I think it was $200 in total.
Yeah. And so
And you thought that was a bit extreme for date
there's
one.
no way it ends well. There's no way it ends well, because this guy is not fall on top of your girl pit bull type of person. So I don't think he's maneuvering in that fashion. And then whatever it was, that was on a Thursday. By like a Monday, there's an untagged photo of them together with no context, and it's in the story, so it'll disappear, so it's not on the account. And I said, I think there's a major party foul going on here, because if that is your girlfriend or you're having consensual interpersonal relations together, you're wanting everybody to know that. You're tagging, I'm so glad Cindy is in my life, whatever the kids say now. And there was none of that. And now you're telling me that this guy, after 4 days, is claiming that's his girlfriend?
That's what he told me on Friday.
We've got to do something about this. Did you follow up? Did you say, what do you mean she's your girlfriend?
Well, I was asking him. He did tell me, like I mentioned before, that he knew her. I guess his cousins knew her.
There's lots of people that I know that my cousins know. They're not my girlfriend after 4 days.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got. But yeah,
Kevin, you didn't no follow-ups. No, what the hell is this photo and stories? It's disappearing. Why aren't you tagging her?
Well, I just kind of took his word for it and said, like, it seems like everything went well.
I'm wondering if
wait, hang on. This is why people vote the way they do. We just take the politician's word for it and assume everything's going to go well.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe he didn't tag her. Maybe she's not on social media.
No, she's on. That's how he pulled it up. It was on that Instagram thing. That's how he pulled when he initially showed me.
He was showing off pictures of her from her Instagram page.
That is a good point.
Yeah, no, whatever.
Okay, well, maybe he needs to be on. Maybe you need to take him instead of Allison.
No, I'm taking.
If you ask me, Allison's got her stuff together.
Allison,
especially compared to this.
Allison has already. It's not because you don't come because you need help. It comes because you want to expand your horizons, Casey.
I think she's going.
Nobody
for the
thinks
free
Allison.
Meal. She's going for the free food.
Allison was, and Kevin saw when I asked her, she was like, "Yeah, I went in on the mentoring session.
She wants to hang out with us. We're her friends.
Yeah. She does. She's a lot of fun too. She just wants to have a good time. I don't know about the mentoring.
Well, we were going to
dial that down.
They were
it's Christmas. Dial it down.
Kevin, do you want your life altered tomorrow, or do you just want to just sit around and stare out the window? What do you want?
I'd say let's keep it casual.
See, he just wants to have fun.
It's not gonna be the same type of conversation that you and I normally have.
It won't be.
It's not two dudes.
But we don't really know much about Allison.
Yeah,
like we know the high level Allison. And I need to learn some things about Allison.
You're going to have to ask some questions.
Right, absolutely. And that's what I do. I have very few talents, but I'm a good question asker.
Yeah, you are.
I'm terrible at evaluating my own life, but other people's lives, I can certainly really just put under a microscope and find out all the flaws in your...
Now, you don't want this to be an interrogation. Let's keep it casual.
No, that's fine. All right.
and the best part about when you ask a question is you actually have to listen to the answer.
Yeah.
Okay?
What are you saying? I don't normally do that? Are you trying to...
Hey, I wasn't invited to the meal, so You've
already been invited.
I'm doing the mentoring live on air right now.
You have already been invited to a session, and we spent most of our time there figuring out what kind of wine you were going to drink.
It definitely won't be your last session.
So not true.
You'll be invited again.
Oh, I can't wait. Hey, let's talk about Roger Stone. Changing the subject. He's got a new book out, and it's about the assassination called The Assassination of Kennedy, and it's called The Man Who Killed Kennedy, The Case Against LBJ. He hopes it's going to break through the mainstream media. He said, right now, my uphill fight is to get some coverage. So this is not nothing, because he has worked on the Nixon, Reagan, and Bush presidential campaigns. He helped down in Florida in the year 2000 for the election recount, the numbers. So he's got some inner workings, and there's a lot of JFK conspiracy theories out there. Some blame the mafia, some blame the CIA, some blame the far right, some blame the far left, and he's got an answer all on his own of who did it.
Roger, what was it that drove you to write this book in just a minute?
I had a conversation when I was working for former President Richard Nixon. It was a conversation in which he had a couple cocktails, and I asked him point blank, who killed John F. Kennedy? Kind of shuddered and said, let me put it this way. Lyndon and I both wanted to be president. The difference was I wasn't willing to kill for it.
Wow.
Can you picture, just the visual of a boozed up Nixon just rambling on about alleging Johnson killed Kennedy?
No, there's he's got no evidence.
No, of course not. You know who
Nothing
did it?
other than an undocumented conversation.
You know why there's no evidence? Because you know who did it? Oswald. Sometimes the most simple answer is the one we refuse to believe. And I heard this years ago, and it's very true. We live in what I call an equal society, like where things have to be equal and make sense. And America has such a hard time, and has always had such a hard time believing that someone as inconsequential as Oswald could have such power over the nation and take out somebody named Kennedy. Vincent Bugliosi, who is the prosecutor for Charles Manson, wrote, this has been about 15 years ago, wrote a lengthy book on how Oswald did it alone, and it is incredibly compelling that if you're actually just... The problem is there's just so many things that you can never answer to the nth degree, and there's always some little bit of doubt. And it happens like in all sorts of things. They just don't get the microscope that the Kennedy assassination does. And because it's Kennedy, you go, well, what about this? What about that? You could do that with any case you want. Oswald did it. He acted alone. Case closed.
So this is coming from the guy, keep in mind, who said that there's a demonic portal that's opening above the White House. And it happened right after Biden moved in.
It does
and it's visible.
It does make you pause for a minute, but one more day, Casey.
I know. I'm bringing you a Christmas present tomorrow, but after the way you've ripped on me all day, I don't know why.
I just said it took you a long time to order a glass of wine.
All right. Thanks, Rob. Good job, Kevin, and thank you for listening. Tomorrow, it's the Kendall and Casey Christmas show on 93 WIBC.
This holiday season, Diamonds Direct gives you the gift of 0% interest financing for 3 years on any purchase. With high prices and high interest rates everywhere else, Diamonds Direct is here with the incredible shopping experience you need. Our guaranteed best value prices will save you money. And with 0% interest, you can spread your payments over 3 years with no finance charge, period. And for this holiday season, we're showcasing an expanded selection of affordable and timeless holiday gifts. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, colored gemstones, and if you're upgrading her diamond or getting engaged over the holidays, we have one of the largest diamond selections in America. All sizes and shapes, all cut for maximum brilliance, and all offered at our amazing direct importer, no middleman prices. Check out our holiday gift guide now at diamondsdirect.com. Buy now or come into the showroom. Let one of our experts guide you in finding the holiday gift that's at the top of their list. And enjoy 3 years zero interest financing on any holiday purchase. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
For a smarter conversation about money, everyday wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky. Presented by Edelman Financial Engines. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com. Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Founded right here in Indianapolis in 1991 and winner of the World Pizza Championships in Parma, Italy.
Puccini's 707 locations. Puccini's Pizza Pasta.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Updated COVID vaccines are here, just in time for the season that brings us all closer. Just in time for added protection against the original COVID virus and Omicron. Just in time for crowded stores and great big family dinners. Updated COVID protection is here. And if you haven't had a vaccine since September, it's time to give yourself the gift of updated protection. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. We can do this. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Looking for the perfect gift this holiday? Crew Car Wash books are on everyone's list. And right now, buy 4 Ultimate Washes and get 2 free. Available online or at any Crew Car Wash location.
Pierce Jewelers has the perfect sparkle to put under the tree this Christmas. So don't be a Grinch. Spoil your loved one with a little blue box from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Get at least an inch or two of snow.
Still on track for an opening of I-70 both ways.
It needs to be passed before Friday's midnight deadline.
Punch in a code listed on the machine and get a free dose of Narcan.
The book says we can't reject our destiny.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Look for it to be windy and around Indy.
A winter storm watch is supposed to go into effect on Thursday. It's partly cloudy and 33 degrees on Monument Circle. Highs in the 40s today, and you can expect a big temperature drop later. I'm Donnie Burgess.
And I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. High wind gusts are part of a winter weather system that could cause big problems in a couple of days.
Well, the wind gust, it looks like we could be in the 30 to 40 mile per hour range, and it may even get a little bit stronger than that for at least a brief period for portions of the area. And, when you combine that with the snow that will be falling or that will have started to accumulate, then that's going to cause some problems.
Randy Bowers with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says highs will be in the 40s across most of Indiana Thursday, but then temperatures drop quickly by early Friday morning, and then highs will be in the single digits with extremely cold wind chills. As for the projected snow